Chapter 213. That's the Big Dipper Fist. The cultivators of the Big Dipper faction were shocked. Everyone could see that this was the secret technique of the Big Dipper faction, the Big Dipper Fist. Only a few were qualified to cultivate it. But now the Big Dipper Fist had appeared and was mastered by a mysterious genius. Alcade Palace Master and the others had ugly expressions. Could it be that the Big Dipper faction had nurtured another invincible genius of the younger generation? If that was the case, it wouldn't be easy for the 7 palaces to control the Big Dipper faction. It's Ingia from our Big Dipper faction. Millions of living beings in the vicinity of the Big Dipper Tower were shouting and cheering. They were extremely agitated, being humiliated by a prodigy from the outer realm, and the fact that Zhu Xing was the first in the trial was a humiliation to every young person. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Su Yin leaped up, and the resplendent stars crashed towards Zhu Xing. The atmosphere here also froze. Zhu Xing's fist was extremely powerful. He secretly used the power of the overturning sky seal to collide with Su Yin. Bam! A huge sound exploded here, as if a weapon was being refined in a weapon training pool. The sonorous sounds were unceasing, and the divine sound was ear-piercing. It was as if 2 great heavenly weapons had collided together. A world-shocking energy surged out, making many people feel suffocated. Who is he? Mizar Juzi and the others couldn't believe it. They saw Zhu Xing's fist trembling, as if it had been shattered by Su Yan's body. Zhu Xing's face was also filled with shock and fury. He could feel that Qin Wentian's physical body was extremely tyrannical, like an invincible body. It was shocking, and he felt like he would be crushed into pieces at any moment. Zhu Xing's hair danced wildly, and his entire body was covered in bloody light. He wanted to use the overturning sky seal again to attack Su Yan. Wong! Su Yan leaped into the air, withstanding the monstrous pressure. Under the shocked and fanatical gazes, he jumped over Zhu Xing's head and soared to a higher level. Oh my God! The place was in an uproar, and even Wu Hong was shocked. This was humiliating Zhu Xing by jumping over his head. Who could withstand such humiliation? I'll kill you. Zhu Xing turned around, his eyes filled with shocking killing intent. This was a great humiliation. He represented the ancestral hall in conquering the Big Dipper Star Tower in the Big Dipper constellation, but he was humiliated. If news of this got out, Zhu Xing would be reprimanded by the big shots of the clan. He would be so humiliated that he would be thrown into outer space. Wait till you climb up before you talk nonsense. It was also at this moment that Su Yin also turned his body around. His feet soared into the air like an unsheathed killing sword, emitting a shocking aura as he kicked forward. This strike was majestic, as if a giant mountain was rumbling and rotating here, emitting an incomparable aura. How dare you? Zhu Xing was on the verge of going crazy. His eyes were so wide that they looked like they were about to pop out blood. Crack! Su Yan's foot landed squarely on Zhu Xing's face, causing it to cave in. His nose was broken, and his skull was about to be crushed. Zhu Xing was viciously stomped by Su Yan's foot and sent flying. Fist! Outside the Star Tomb, countless people stood up and drew a cold gasp. Even the big shots were no exception. They found it unbelievable. That was Zhu Xing, a peerless elite of the Ancestral Hall. But in a battle at the Primordial Realm, he had been kicked down by Su Yan. Bamboo Moon covered her mouth as her eyes were filled with shock. She really did not know when such a genius had appeared in the Big Dipper lineage. Bam! Zhu Xing fell down 500 stone steps as he let out a hysterical roar. His eyes were blood red as he emitted a ferocious killing intent. He was like a wild beast as he stared at Su Yin, who was standing on the steps looking down at him. He roared angrily, "I'll slay your soul. What are you so arrogant for? Do you believe that this Lord Baokai won't stomp on your little brother until it explodes?" A large round head poked out as Tai Baokai glared at Zhu Xing threateningly. His words left the nearby people dumbfounded. Immediately following that, the surrounding people were petrified. Tai Baokai swiped at Zhu Xing's crotch, causing him to let out a bone-chilling scream. Zhu Xing was in excruciating pain. The strength of Tai Baotsai's claw was especially astonishing. Caught off guard, he was sent flying once again. He tumbled down the stone steps like a dead dog. Everyone's gazes followed Zhu Xing's body as it rolled down the mountain. The eyes of the people who were paying attention widened as they felt a chill run down their spines. This was too brutal. A mountain guardian divine beast is actually this ferocious? Shaowen's hair stood on end as goosebumps rose all over his body. This was too brutal. It was on a completely different level from when he dealt with Xuelong. This was an unscrupulous humiliation of Zhu Xing. Zhu Xing tumbled down 5,000 stone steps before coming to a stop. His face was purple from pain. He could not say a word as his body trembled. He was in indescribable pain. Who is this ferocious person? The spectators recovered from their shock and sucked in a breath of cold air. They stared at Su Yan, who had already reached 9,000 stone steps. They found it hard to believe. This person had mastered the authentic Big Dipper fist. Could he be a hidden disciple of the Big Dipper bloodline? The Golden Dragon King seriously suspected that this person was Su Yan. Unfortunately, the Big Dipper Tower was too shocking. It was difficult to see through Su Yan's true identity. May I ask, Fairy Big Dipper, which expert's disciple is this person? Some of the important figures standing outside the Star Tomb were alarmed and hurriedly asked. They felt that Su Yan had been hidden by the Big Dipper bloodline to avoid Sovereign Shueguan's sharpness for the time being. At the critical moment, he would reverse the situation. Even Hall Master Yao Guang wanted to know, when did such a powerful genius emerge from the Big Dipper bloodline? They even suspected that this young man was Su Yan, because there was only one Su Yan with mysterious strength and mastery of the Big Dipper fist. This is a secret of the Academy. Everyone, please don't ask. Bamboo Moon's mouth was full of nonsense. Her heart was not calm. Those who were qualified to cultivate the Big Dipper fist were recorded in the records. In the past few hundred years, she didn't know of any of the founding elders of the Academy who had secretly nurtured disciples. Even if the Big Dipper fist was passed down, it had to be recorded in the Academy's records. Only Su Yan, whom she met on Earth, was not recorded in the records. Bamboo Moon was almost certain that this person was Su Yan. Little native, is it really you? Bamboo Moon's slender jade-like hands clenched slightly. Her eyes emitted a strange light as she stared at Su Yan and muttered in her heart. The Xue family head clenched his fists. His face was ashen because he knew that Su Yan had opened the holy gate. His chi meridians were like dragons, and his physical body's foundation was strong. This was what Shueguan had told him. If it's really Su Yan, he has to be eradicated. If not, there will be no end to his troubles. The Xue family head's eyes were filled with coldness. An astral domain could only have one paragon. Is it really him? Bamboo Moon looked at Su Yan. She found it unbelievable. How many years had it been? Although she had imparted a cultivation technique to Su Yan years ago, it was impossible for him to use it to compete with Zhu Xing in the primordial realm. He's definitely a hidden elite of the Big Dipper lineage. Zhu Xing shouldn't be so arrogant, right? Paragon Shueguan has yet to take action. Any elite would be able to obliterate him. These discussions were unbearable for the Xue family. If Shueguan were to return, the Big Dipper lineage would be nothing. You go first. Wu Heng had already closed in on Su Yan. He said in all seriousness, "You have wasted time dealing with Zhu Xing. I don't want to take advantage of your perilous state. I want to see how strong your limits are in the primordial realm and how great the gap is between our limits." All right. Su Yan did not hesitate as he rapidly charged forward. This was a total of 9,999 stone steps. Now, Su Yan was still a distance away from the peak. In this place, every step forward was extremely difficult. One had to withstand an extremely strong suppression. Wu Heng, who had reached this point, was breathing heavily. His legs turned limp, and he felt like he was about to fall. At that moment, Mizar Juzi, Tai Baokai, Young Dragon King, Han Tong, and the Void Monarch Beast had already reached the 9,000 stone step. After a while, Zhu Xing got up and roared at the sky. His body was filled with astounding killing intent as he said ferociously, What a Big Dipper elite. It's been years since I've hunted a young elite. My fighting blood is already boiling. He began to climb again, his eyes filled with raging flames of anger. The ancient family clans turned pale. The ancestral hall was powerful. So if Zhu Xing really killed Su Yin, the Big Dipper constellation would have nothing to say. After all, it was a battle between the younger generation. What an impressive beast. It has surpassed Mizar Juzi and is about to surpass Wu Hong. There is no need to elaborate on Tai Baocai's body. It was extremely powerful. Furthermore, it had obtained some heritage in the Snow Mountain inheritance space, resulting in its body being extremely astonishing. Even Wu Heng's Primordial Realm Foundation was not as strong as Tai Baocai's. Mizar Juzi's expression turned nasty as though he had eaten a pile of shit. He believed that he could showcase his prowess at the first level. However, the appearance of Su Yin and Tai Baocai nearly made him lose control. It was hard to imagine how they cultivated in the primordial realm. Don't tell me he cleared the level. All the important figures were looking forward to it. Although the Star Tomb had been opened in the past, clearing the first level was extremely difficult. Very few managed to climb to the peak. Now, a batch of those at the 8,000 stone steps have been taken away by the Big Dipper Constellation Hall. He can still run? How terrifying is his physical body? Xiaowen was alarmed. Su Yin was just too fast. Although he had been delayed by Zhu Xing, he did not stop. He was still sprinting forward. He was less than 100 stone steps away from the peak. At this point, Su Yan's speed gradually slowed down as the pressure increased. He gritted his teeth and resolutely climbed step by step. Kacha! Su Yan's bones seemed to crack. The pressure emitted by the stone steps was astounding. It made Su Yin feel like his body was being torn apart. Su Yin wore a resolute expression as he remained unperturbed. He continued climbing one stone step after another. When he was 10 stone steps away, a pressure that felt like it could topple mountains and overturn seas assaulted him. It was as though a massive mountain was crashing down on him. Boom! Su Yin felt like he was about to collapse. But when a mountain-like pressure struck him, Su Yin roared into the sky. His entire body surged with vigorous blood essence as his dragon-like meridians recovered to an extreme. Chapter 214. Heavens, he has reached the peak. Countless people were flabbergasted as their hearts were filled with disbelief. According to historical records, it was extremely difficult to reach the peak of the Big Dipper Pagoda's first level. Typically, only those with a supreme body could do so, but now Su Yin had reached the peak. Could it be that he was the sovereign body that had been missing for a long time? The Big Dipper lineage's hidden Ingjie must have a supreme body. Our Big Dipper constellation has a new young supreme body. He will definitely be able to compete with Supreme Shueguan in the future. Some disciples of the Big Dipper lineage roared in shock. Since Su Yin had grasped the Big Dipper's Big Dipper fist, he was definitely a disciple of the Big Dipper lineage. He might even be a disciple personally taught by some patriarch. How strong is this human cultivator's body? The astral monarch beast was alarmed. To reach the peak of the first level required a heaven-defying heritage in the primordial realm. However, a human cultivator had managed to reach the peak without revealing his physique. This was just too astounding. Damn it, this honor should have belonged to our race's champion. The Shui family felt indignant as they clenched their fists. Their expressions were extremely ugly. They were indignant that the honor that belonged to Shueguan had been snatched away. Alcade Home Master's expression was cold. If an patriarch had really subdued a supreme body, then the next expedition by the Big Dipper Constellation Lord, Mizar Juzi and company, would have no chance at all. Constellation Lord, how is it? Behind Bamboo Moon, there were 5 elders of the Big Dipper lineage. Their expressions were solemn and expectant. Xiaowen was asking questions, hoping for a direct answer. Bamboo Moon's jade-like hands slowly clenched. She was graceful and elegant with peerless looks. Dressed in a silver robe, she looked like a divine moon from the 9 heavens. Her hazy eyes looked at the stone steps as she watched Su Yin climb to the peak. Is it really Su Yin? Bamboo Moon found it difficult to calm down. She was certain that Su Yin, a fellow from a native planet, did not have a supreme body. But his attainments in the primordial realm left Bamboo Moon alarmed. He has entered the third place in history. When Xiao Wan and the others received this news, they were all shocked. Their hearts were filled with disbelief. After all, the Big Dipper Pagoda was the Big Dipper lineage's training pagoda, and Bamboo Moon was the Big Dipper lineage's astrolord. She could communicate with the Big Dipper Tower and obtain Su Yan's test results. Outsiders couldn't see this historical record. After Xiao Wan and the others received the news, they found it hard to calm down. The fight between Su Yin and Zhu Xing had taken up a lot of time. In fact, from the very beginning, Su Yin hadn't even been in his peak condition to climb the stone steps. Xiaowen speculated that if Su Yin had gone all out from the start, what level would he have stood at in history? One had to know that those who were able to make it into the top 10 in history were the sovereign physiques that had appeared in the Big Dipper constellation over the course of countless years. Everyone was still in shock, especially Wu Hong. His breathing was somewhat heavy, and he found it hard to believe. He didn't have the confidence to reach the peak, and neither did Zhu Xing. But now Su Yin had done it. Wu Hong and the others are still 100 stone steps away. Their speed is already very slow. Look, Mizar Juzi is making his move. He's going to force the mutated beast away. Mizar Juzi's expression was cold. His body was comparable to the ancient sun star, and his body was bathed in golden light. He made his move very decisively. He raised his fist and smashed it at Tai Baokai. How dare you hit your grandfather? Tai Baokai was so angry that his face turned green. I didn't know that you had a rebellious streak. The people of the Ancestral Hall humiliated the younger generation of the Big Dipper constellation, and you didn't even do anything. Now, you have the cheek to humiliate your grandfather. Mizar Juzi's expression was cold as he said disdainfully, "What right does a mutated beast have to climb up? Get down." Mizar Juzi is too much. Zhu Xing humiliated the younger generation of the Big Dipper constellation, and Mizar Juzi didn't even do anything. Instead, this mutated beast slapped Zhu Xing down with a single claw. Some people felt indignant for Tai Baokai, while others explained, "You guys don't know this, but the top 3 in the assessment will be nourished by the most powerful ancient star's ancestral vein energy." Mizar Juzi is targeting this mutated beast. It's obvious that he's aiming for the top 3. Everyone suddenly realized that Su Yin was in first place and Wu Hong was in second place. That meant that Tai Baokai was in third place. Now, Mizar Juzi had suddenly made his move and attacked Tai Baokai with lightning speed. But how could Tai Baokai be afraid of Mizar Juzi? What made Tai Baokai angry was that Zhu Xing was charging over. His eyes were cold. "I'll cripple you, evil creature, and kick him out. Third place is yours." Some people's expressions changed. They were actually working together. "Thank you, Brother Zhu Xing." Mizar Juzi nodded. "Evil creature, I don't care about the ranking today. I'm going to break your bones." Zhu Xing clenched his fists so tightly that they cracked. Like a blood-colored demon god, his body surged with sanguine light as he charged at Tai Baokai. Mizar Juzi's body was weaker than Zhu Xing's, but it was still extremely terrifying. The two experts attacked Tai Baokai. Boom! A huge battle erupted. The 3 of them had extremely high attainments in the primordial realm. When they clashed, their bodies were as tough as steel. When they collided, there was a loud sound that shook the stone steps. Mizar Juzi's eyes flashed with killing intent. Tai Baocai's body was too strong. Even he found it difficult to move it. Only Zhu Xing's heaven upheaval seal could shake Tai Baocai's body. "Kid, come down and help." Tai Baokai complained incessantly. His body was in pain from the beating. His fur had split open as blood seeped out. Even his bones were visible. "What a joke. I'll break your bones." Zhu Xing smiled sinisterly as he suddenly swept his palm forward. He wanted to reach in a Tai Baocai's stomach and pull out every bone in his body. "Who do you think you are? Scram to the side." Loud voices boomed one after another like thunder. They reverberated from the bottom to the top. Every syllable had a heavy metallic feeling to it, causing the lifeblood of a large number of cultivators to churn. Supreme body. The entire place was in an uproar. It was as though they had seen a black dragon rush up. It was too fast, stirring up the heavenly winds. Every step crossed 1,000 stone steps as it charged up like lightning while withstanding the overwhelming pressure. He was barefoot, but every step he took caused the stone steps to rumble and shatter. It was like an earthquake. A burly man with a head of disheveled hair, dressed in beast-hide clothes, charged up like a savage who had barged out of a primitive forest. The moment he soared into the sky, his feet erupted with earth-shattering strength. Zhu Xing's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was so angry that he was about to explode. This was a great humiliation. The foot of the sovereign physique stomped down, and the might of the sovereign physique almost caused Zhu Xing to explode on the stone steps. What kind of terrifying divine force was this? It seemed to be able to stomp a young divine beast to death. The foot mercilessly stomped on Zhu Xing's head, causing him to feel as though he was struck by lightning. This Uncle Baokai will send you on your way. Tai Baokai raised his head and slammed into Zhu Xing's chest, causing his ribs to shatter. He let out a mournful cry and was once again sent flying down. He was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. The big shots outside the star mound were dumbfounded. Zhu Xing was too unlucky. He had been talking nonsense the moment he arrived and was beaten down by the Big Dipper's Heaven's Pride. For the second time, the supreme body stomped on his head and sent him flying again by the Tai Baokai. It's our Big Dipper's supreme body. Someone recognized him, causing everyone to pale. The younger generation's Heaven's Pride smiled bitterly. One Shui Guan was enough, but now the Big Dipper's faction had another mysterious Heaven's Pride. The supreme body had returned at this time. The Shui family's faces were ugly. This was Shui Guan's greatest opponent, the supreme body. Mizar Juzi was very calm. When the Tai Baokai attacked him, he was enveloped by the power of the Big Dipper Star Pagoda and sent into the pagoda. This was equivalent to giving up the opportunity to be in the top 3. That bastard ran away. Tai Baokai was furious. He looked at the supreme body who was charging up the stone steps. His aura was very terrifying. It was hard to imagine how strong the supreme body was. Looks like the opening of the star mound has caused the younger generation of the Big Dipper to show themselves. The big shots outside were speechless. The supreme body, Shui Guan, and the Big Dipper's Heaven's Pride. 3 Heaven's Prides had walked out of the first trial. The first trial tested the physical body, so the second trial tested the life springs. Perhaps Ingjia, who had an extremely strong life spring, would appear again. Now that it was almost time to pass the trial, it would be difficult for Zhu Xing to charge a third time. Some people looked at him with pity. They couldn't help but feel that one shouldn't be too arrogant. The supreme body will rush to the peak without any suspense. The sad one is Zhu Xing. It's a pity that one shouldn't be too arrogant. Our Big Dipper's faction has a supreme body. I didn't expect 5 of them to appear in this trial. The Starry Sky King Beast has also been moved to the peak area. 80% of the cultivators on the stone steps had been moved away by the Big Dipper Star Pagoda. Su Yin had already reached the peak, but the experience in the peak area was beyond his expectations. The moment he arrived here, Su Yin felt as if he had been struck by lightning. His entire body was about to be torn apart. It was as if countless stars were bombarding his body. Su Yin was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. Some of the bones in his body were broken, and his pores were bleeding. Su Yin felt as if his body was about to be destroyed. However, this situation only lasted for a while. A vast wall wrapped around Su Yin's body. In the void in front of Su Yin, a diagram of the human body appeared. What a powerful Big Dipper Star Pagoda! Su Yin inspected the secret pattern diagram of the human body that seemed to be formed by the interweaving of galaxies. He was moved. The secret pattern diagram was equivalent to him. It should be an assessment. Coupled with the cruel suppression just now, it had revealed Su Yin's shortcomings. Boom! Su Yin sat cross-legged on the ground. His body glowed, and his blood essence surged. When the initial sutra was activated, he absorbed the divine power contained within the stone steps. Su Yin's body was burning. The area where he was sitting cross-legged was filled with beams of silver, divine energy. This kind of divine energy was very intimidating. It had the aura of the god essence of the ancient star, which was very beneficial to the human body. With each passing day, Su Yan's body became more resplendent. Chapter 2:15. At the peak of the stone steps, Su Yan stood tall and straight with a majestic aura. I never expected the Big Dipper Pagoda to be so miraculous. My physical body actually improved at the primordial stage. Su Yan's eyes were filled with joy. If he were to lose the suppression of the Big Dipper Pagoda, Su Yan's attainments in his physical body would rise to another level. This was very important as it would affect his future. Su Yan could not help but sigh. Thankfully, his cultivation level was low. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to recultivate the various mystic realms in the future. The Big Dipper Pagoda also had a rule that cultivators who had gained insight into a great Tao were not allowed to enter. I have to do my best in every round of the Big Dipper Pagoda to obtain the strongest trial. Su Yan clenched his fists. He had just seen his flaws. As Su Yan's cultivation level increased, these flaws would magnify and become a fatal threat. Although the Big Dipper Pagoda was not perverse enough to find all of Su Yan's flaws, his physical body's awakening would be even more perfect. It's a pity that I can no longer absorb this gas. Su Yan attempted to absorb the aura at the peak of the stone steps, but unfortunately, he could only absorb this mysterious energy when he recultivated to the primordial stage. This gas was naturally precious. Otherwise, the Big Dipper Pagoda would not have only selected a few people to cultivate with it. Su Yan did not stay there and quickly rushed forward. He could already see the door to the Big Dipper Pagoda. It was a huge silver door that exuded a heaven-like suppression. The second round is a test for the Life Spring realm. Among the three realms, the Life Spring realm should be the weakest. Su Yan thought. Although he had received the Xian Huang source gas from Bamboo Moon when he awakened his Life Spring, he knew that his Life Spring still had room for improvement. If he could use the second round of the trial to reach new heights and perfect his Life Spring realm, Su Yan's divine power would also increase. After pushing open the huge silver door, Su Yan arrived at the trial space. Indeed, his Life Spring was no longer suppressed. His strength soared to the peak of the Life Spring realm. Of course, this also included the cultivation of the armament building realm. After looking around, Su Yan's expression turned grave. In front of him stood a figure with a powerful aura. His entire body was surrounded by silver light, as if he was made of silver divine materials. Dazzling divine light was released from its body, and majestic divine power surged within its body, emitting the roar of a tsunami. What a powerful life spring! Su Yan was astonished. This person's life spring was too vigorous. It was like a river of stars, surging and blazing. Its aura made him feel terrified. Even more shocking to Su Yan was the fact that he could sense the aura of a paragon coming from the silver figure. It seemed to be emanating waves of paragon divine might. Could it be that this person had a supreme physique? Starry sky, tyrant body? Boom! Just as Su Yan was observing, it suddenly erupted. The silver shadow's aura was peerlessly powerful, and a starry sky chart appeared behind its back. It was emitting a terrifying aura. This was because there was a concentrated sea of stars that undulated along with it. Above the silver sea of stars hung the sun, moon, and stars. The starry sky phenomenon seemed to be able to turn into a real starry sky one day. It's related to my test results. I've disturbed the Paragon trial. Su Yan's expression turned grave. This was definitely a young paragon from the Big Dipper starfield. Now it was pouncing towards him. Its entire body was flowing with silver radiance, and the starry sky chart covered the sky. The power of the life spring was like a river of stars crashing down, emitting a deafening sound. Boom! Su Yan leaped over and clenched his fists. The power of the life spring gushed out, and the strength of his flesh manifested. He smashed toward the silver figure and launched a bombardment. What shocked Su Yan was the phenomenon behind the silver figure. It was as if a real starry sky was pressing down on him, and the aura it emitted made Su Yan's hair stand on end. At first, it wasn't much, but Su Yan was horrified. The sun, moon, and stars appeared in the starry sky chart. The concentrated sea of stars was like a real scene. The moment it pounced on Su Yan, it made his body feel like it was about to explode. This is the pressure of the paragon physique. Su Yan's eyes were wide open in anger. He did everything he could to resist, but no matter how terrifying his physical strength was, he was still suppressed by the starry sky chart that erupted from the paragon physique. The pressure of the paragon physique contained a terrifying energy. It was like a heavenly might that was difficult to resist. Su Yan coughed out blood. It was difficult for him to endure. He was sent flying, and his entire body dimmed. The starry sky tyrant body pounced over once again. It was unstoppable. The vast starry sky chart wanted to obliterate Su Yan's body. Su Yan roared. His entire body rumbled under the pressure. Suddenly, layers of tribulation aura emerged from his body. His flesh shell seemed to have turned into a door of 10,000 tribulations. Although it was damaged, it was filled with the might of a paragon physique that could dominate the world. Boom! His body surged with a fuzzy sea of primal chaos. Although it couldn't be seen clearly, as if it was an illusion, the power that existed forcibly blocked the starry sky chart. Kill! Su Yan roared. He raised his fist and punched forward. However, it was as if he had punched a divine iron. His body trembled, and the life springs in his body rumbled. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. However, the paragon physique wasn't in a good condition either. Su Yan's punch had also caused his body to rumble. There's a difference between my life springs and his, but my physical body is stronger than his. The paragon physique's pressure is too terrifying. Although my paragon physique can also manifest a phenomenon, it's too illusory. I can only barely resist it. However, this is enough. After all, he's only at the life springs realm. He can't manifest a powerful paragon physique. Su Yan thought. His eyes burned with a strong desire. He had to perfect his paragon physique. Perhaps his paragon physique could be upgraded to the paragon physique realm and manifest a phenomenon. The silver figure pounced over once again. He was even more powerful than before. He could be considered an unrivaled paragon. His life springs were boiling, and his body was glowing. His fist was like a fuzzy cosmic star. The moment it opened, it pierced through the sky. Dong! Su Yan brandished his fist and attacked. They had begun a great battle and were competing in this place. In this kind of training space, it was impossible to use any divine abilities. The void was dyed with blood. Su Yan's fist was bleeding and his life springs were showing signs of cracking. However, the paragon physique wasn't in a good condition either. His silver fist was cracking, but his life springs were too powerful. The pressure from his life springs made it difficult for Su Yan to launch a counterattack. I have to hold on. Who knows? I might be able to obtain the fortune to nurture my life springs. Su Yan was ruthless. He used his strongest strength to face the incoming life springs. As long as he could endure it, he would be able to obtain the fortune. At this moment, the surroundings fluctuated and divine light shone brightly. The paragon physique's aura was even stronger. A pagoda appeared within his body and emitted a terrifying starry sky energy. It penetrated his life, springs, and his limbs. Weapon building realm. Su Yan's aura also soared. Fortunately, his life cauldron had been reforged. Once again, Su Yan's aura rose sharply. Boom! The paragon physique's aura was strong and undiminished. His fist was comparable to an ancient star. The moment it came crashing down, his fist surged with a domineering strength that could crush a mountain. It was a destructive force. Kill! Su Yan roared. His palms formed a fist seal. Divine energy surged from his body and merged with his life cauldron. Su Yan seemed to have transformed into a giant cauldron. Su Yan's life cauldron merged with his body. His aura was majestic as he charged forward. It was as if a stellar pagoda had collided with a cauldron. The heavens and earth resounded, as if a heavenly drum was being beaten. Energy ripples surged out violently. The collision this time caused the two experts to tremble as if they had been struck by lightning. Cough! Su Yin was sent flying like a kite with a broken string. He coughed up blood, and his fist was cracked. He was shocked to find that the life spring's divine energy had been exhausted. Just how powerful was this paragon physique? Although the paragon physique was also sent flying and suffered heavy injuries, there was still abundant divine energy in his life springs. This meant that his attainments in the life springs realm had surpassed Su Yan's. Su Yan crawled up, panting heavily. His eyes were fixed on the paragon physique. In the next moment, the scene changed. The silver sovereign disappeared on its own and was replaced by an extremely exuberant starry sky aura. Su Yan seemed to have seen a silver ocean, as if a vast sea of stars was floating down. Su Yan felt his hair stand on end. He felt the aura of a starry sky dragon, the aura of the most powerful ancient star. Could this be the ancestral power of the Big Dipper? If the Life Springs realm could cultivate in the ancestral vein, it would have shocking effects on one's life springs. The beginning sutra said that the physical body was like the universe, and the life springs were like the dragon's veins. The first two realms of cultivation were mainly about building the foundation. If the physical body and life springs were strong enough, they would be able to reach higher levels in the future and possess unparalleled combat strength. My opportunity has come. Su Yin grinned and looked at the ancestral vein of the Big Dipper. This ancestral vein contained abundant divine energy and was surrounded by the divine radiance of the stars. It emitted the aura of the most powerful ancient star. The most important thing was that Su Yin saw streaks of colorful gas in the sea of stars. They revealed all kinds of strange phenomena. Some were like golden stars, some were like silver moons, and some were like red suns. This was too shocking. This was an extremely powerful creation. There were all kinds of precious gas, products of the ancestral vein. It could be said that they were the essence of the Big Dipper star field. Su Yin rushed in and circulated the Origin Sutra. His life springs surged with a devouring power and absorbed the precious gas in the ancestral vein. Buzz! The life springs in his body began to glow as if they were about to turn into a blurry river of stars. The most powerful life springs aura also surged. This is the most powerful ancient star. Su Yin was speechless. The most powerful ancient star nurtured the most powerful heroes and made up for the innate deficiencies of humans. Then, looking at the universe's 10 most powerful superpowers, their young supreme beings would definitely receive the best nurturing from a young age. Their cultivation level would definitely surpass the Big Dipper starfield by a lot. This was without a doubt. The most powerful ancient star nurtured the most powerful heroes. This was a well-known saying in the cultivation world. Just like now, Su Yin had received the baptism of the most powerful ancestral vein. His life springs were entwined with the ancestral vein's aura and were about to nurture the most powerful life springs. Su Yin absorbed the ancestral vein's gas. The potential of his life springs grew stronger, and the life essence within them became more exuberant. Look, the second stage's rankings have been released. The Supreme Physique is indeed in first place. The Big Dipper Prodigy is in second place. Unbelievable, the fairy of the Big Dipper's personal disciple, Xing Jingfu, is actually in third place. If Su Yin saw this ranking, he would be no exception. If he were to redo it, the results would be hard to say. But Xing Jingfu had actually run to third place. Some of the major characters were shocked. But after thinking about it, Xing Jingfu was the personal disciple of the Big Dipper Starlord. She couldn't be weak. Bamboo Moon felt as if she had been entrusted with a great burden. Her face revealed a gentle smile. Her disciple had run to third place and would receive the baptism of the most powerful ancestral vein. This was very important. The second stage was relatively more relaxed with 10 spots. But there was one thing that was especially important. The top 3 would receive a stronger baptism and the effects would be better. Our race's champion has charged in and swept through the various rankings. The rankings will be reorganized, especially the third place. Our race's champion, Daesung, will charge in. Who can contend against him? The Schweff family gritted their teeth. They were prepared to pay a great price. They took out their medicine kings and invited a few old monsters with monstrous combat strength to open a path for Shueguan to charge into the Star Tomb. Once he arrived in person, he would definitely massacre the various rankings and intimidate the Big Dipper starfield. If Shueguan could dominate the various rankings in the Big Dipper pagoda, his fame would spread throughout the universe. How can this be? Suyan's expression changed as he breathed in. That was because the dragon totem had quietly awakened and was suddenly absorbing the ancestral veins essence like a whale sucking in water. This was a training ground, the Big Dipper pagoda. Who could cheat? But the dragon totem had quietly awakened. How terrifying was its absorption speed? The ancestral veins essence began to weaken as it absorbed. Suyan naturally wanted him to absorb it. If the dragon totem was terrifying enough, it would be able to kill powerful enemies. Rumble. The Big Dipper pagoda began to rumble inexplicably. What happened? The major characters of the Big Dipper bloodline were alarmed. The Big Dipper pagoda had awakened on its own and was spreading a supreme, killing intent. This caused them to feel a chill from head to toe. If the Big Dipper pagoda suddenly went crazy, all the candidates would fall. Chapter 216. The Big Dipper Tower only trembled for a moment before calming down. All the experts were puzzled as to what had just happened. Star-Lord, what happened? Shaowen asked. Zhu Yu was silent. She was shocked. When she communicated with the Big Dipper Tower earlier, she vaguely felt that the Big Dipper Tower was transmitting reverence. It was as if it had encountered something or someone. It was a reverence that came from the bottom of its heart. The Big Dipper Tower has its own will, but why would it transmit reverence? How could something like this happen? Zhu Yu's expression kept changing. She did not know what was going on. Even if the Big Dipper lineage's stabilizing pillars and a few old ancestors were awakened from their slumber, the Big Dipper Tower would not show such reverence. It was even a reverence that could change the rules of the Big Dipper Tower. Suyan's heart was filled with shock. The Big Dipper Tower was silent, but even more starry sea divine energy was surging out. Suyan's eyes widened as he scratched his head. He looked as if he had seen a ghost. The Big Dipper Tower was helping the dragon totem. The dragon totem speed of absorption was even faster. The ancient totem was resplendent like a condensed golden sea of stars, emitting strands of supreme might. It was still absorbing. Suyan didn't dare to waste any time and quickly absorbed the gases produced by the strongest life forms in the starry sea. With each passing day, Suyan's life spring would undergo a qualitative change. His life spring was fused with different types of gases, causing his life spring to be much stronger than before. This made Suyan astonished because the increase was too great. The divine energy in his life spring was incomparably vigorous and blazing. Suyan spent 5 days and found that his life spring couldn't be strengthened anymore. It was even showing signs of exploding. He stopped absorbing and cultivated here, refining his life spring and stabilizing his realm. After a few days, Suyan's life spring divine energy stabilized. However, once it was awakened, it was like a resplendent golden Milky Way, surging with divine energy. All right, when I step into the divinity realm in the future, the divine energy in my body will transform into divinity power, and my combat power will be even stronger. Suyan was looking forward to it. He was already very close to the transcendent realm. Once he stepped into this realm, the god energy in his body would transform into transcendent realm power. Buzz. At this moment, the dragon totem also gradually calmed down. Suyan looked into the distance and found that the dragon totem had changed. It was extremely terrifying, like a true dragon that had descended above the heavens, looking down on the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It was filled with the supreme might of the true dragon bloodline. Suyan's primordial spirit pierced into the dragon totem and saw a terrifying heavenly dragon. It gave off a ferocious aura that could tear apart the heavens and surge with the aura of a great divine art. Great divine power, true dragon, secret art. Suyin looked up to the sky and laughed. The dragon totem evolved again and turned into a great divine ability. Moreover, it was a great divine ability of the corporeal body domain. This secret technique is already powerful enough. Once my physical body improves further, I will be able to cultivate it. Suyin clenched his fists and looked forward to it. He did not know if the true dragon's secret art could be strengthened again, or if it evolved into the celestial realm and turned into a great divine ability. Just as he was thinking, the sea of stars in front of him dissipated, revealing a giant silver door once again. The test of the Holy Gate realm. Suyin barged in and found that the door of the third level was relatively sturdy. He used a lot of strength to push open the door of the third level. He guessed that there were restrictions in this level. Those with weak cultivation might be able to barge in. When he pushed open the door of this level and saw the scene inside, he could not help but laugh bitterly. This was because this test was similar to the strongest training ground on Earth. However, the difficulty of this test was not as high as that of the strongest training ground on Earth. However, this was already very shocking. As long as one could understand the difficulty of this test, they would be able to open the Holy Gate. Now, someone has already made it to the fourth level of the Transcendent Realm. I guess it won't be long before someone makes it to the Transcendence Realm. The Big Dipper has unearthed many treasures, but they are all in the outer regions. Only by passing the test of the Big Dipper Tower can one step into the core region of the Big Dipper. Yes, this is also why it is so difficult to make it to the strongest ancient planet with life. Even if one can make it to the strongest ancient planet with life, one has to pass the test in order to enter the strongest ancient planet with life. In the core region, there is the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. This Zhu Xing said that he wants to go to the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion to obtain the Big Dipper Scripture. Suddenly, the Shui family head's words made the atmosphere a little cold. Yao Guang Palace Master and the rest were silent. They also wanted the Big Dipper Scripture. According to the rules of the Big Dipper clan, once one cultivated the Big Dipper Scripture, one would be qualified to compete for the position of Big Dipper Master. Yao Guang Juzi and the rest had cultivated the Big Dipper Scripture before, but the Big Dipper Scripture was incomplete and difficult to cultivate. Bamboo Moon was able to cultivate the Big Dipper Scripture and receive the support of a group of elders to become the Star Master. Bamboo Moon was able to cultivate the incomplete Big Dipper Scripture to this stage, which was enough to prove her talent. If Bamboo Moon could obtain the complete Big Dipper Scripture, she would be extremely shocking. Without the Big Dipper Scripture, Bamboo Moon's cultivation would stop. She would have to wait for Mizar Juzi and the rest to realize the Tao. By then, it would be hard to say who would become the Star Master of the Big Dipper. It was very likely that the position of Star Master would be taken away by the other Juzi, goddess of the Big Dipper. If the champion of our clan comes, he will definitely be able to obtain the Big Dipper Scripture for you. The Shui family head lowered his face and asked Bamboo Moon for help. I'm very puzzled. Why didn't Shui Guan come? Bamboo Moon's reply made the Shui family head's expression turn ugly. He said in a low voice, Goddess of the Big Dipper, you should also know the situation. Someone is plotting against Shui Guan. I think it's better to let Shui Guan come. You also know that the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion has been opened many times, but no one has been able to obtain the Big Dipper Scripture. Therefore, I think that only the Big Dipper Sovereign can find the Big Dipper Scripture. I don't think so. Shaowen stood out and replied, Shui family head, take a look. The third stage has been taken away by the Big Dipper Prodigy. What? The Big Dipper Prodigy has taken first place. The cultivators here were in disbelief. The first place on the list released for the third stage was Su Yan's appearance. He had actually taken first place and even suppressed the sovereign physique. The people here were in disbelief. The sovereign physique had been suppressed. Could it be that this person had opened all the Daesong doors? How is this possible? The Shui family head's expression was very ugly. Xiao Wan, who was beside him, smiled and said, Shui family head, what do you think of the Big Dipper Prodigy? Not bad. The Shui family head's face turned ashen. He gritted his teeth and said, "However, compared to my son's 9-day sewn doors, I'm afraid that you are still a little weak. After all, even if you have the sovereign physique, there are only a few people who can open the 9-day sewn doors. Don't you think so? Moreover, the third stage is a test of the Holy Gate's rules, not a test of opening the 9-day sewn doors." It seems like the Shui family head has high hopes for Shui Guan. Shaowen smiled and said, "I really want to admire the sovereign Shui Guan's elegance. I wonder when he will come." Damn it. The Shui family head was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. He seriously suspected that the Big Dipper prodigy had interfered. There was an elder hiding in the dark to intimidate Shui Guan. My son Shui Guan recites sutras day and night. He will probably go to the Big Dipper planet with the Big Dipper fairy after he has comprehended the Great Tao. The Shui family head replied with a sinister expression, causing the expressions of the important people present to change. Shaowen said sharply, "That's right. When the time comes, we won't be able to admire the sovereign Shui Guan's elegance and massacre the various rankings. What a pity, what a pity." The Shui family members were so angry that they almost lost their composure. In the third stage, Su Yan used an astonishing speed to blast open this stage. Su Yan's suppressed aura was awakened, and it suddenly erupted to the peak. The two great secret realms were also perfected, causing Su Yan's combat strength to increase tremendously. His blood essence surged vigorously, and his divine energy soared. The 7th Daesong gate was opened, and even the 8th sacred gate was faintly discernible. This sacred gate was about to be opened. Just as Su Yan was checking, the ancient will of the Big Dipper Pagoda appeared in the third stage and enveloped Su Yan, drawing out all the potential in his body. Boom! Su Yan's expression was solemn as he channeled the Origin Sutra. His life spring and physical body became one. His entire body flowed with divine light, and he was like a young war god standing between heaven and earth in high spirits. The Origin Sutra has attracted the Big Dipper Pagoda's attention. Su Yan was astonished. The Origin Sutra was his ancestors' heavenly art, so why would it attract the Big Dipper Pagoda's attention? An ancient force appeared and pulled Su Yan away. When he reappeared, Su Yan was in a starry palace. Inside the Great Hall, the most powerful life essence was emitted like an ocean, and it could easily collapse the sky dome. The fortune of the third stage. Su Yan walked in and was shocked. There was a starry pool in the stone palace, and the starry sky divine energy stored within was too abundant. What shocked Su Yan even more was that there were drops of starry sky, heavenly liquid in the starry pool. Each drop was extremely resplendent and was like a golden star, containing boundless vitality. Su Yan couldn't help but swallow his saliva. This fortune was too shocking. He jumped in directly and gulped down the starry sky, heavenly liquid. Occasionally, he would swallow a drop of it, and his body would burn like the sun. His 5 organs were about to transform into a golden sea of reincarnation, and his bones were nourished into starry sky bones. "I'm rich." Su Yan was full of smiles. This was his fortune, and it was enough for him to cultivate the starry sky divine furnace. When the time came, Su Yan's physical strength would skyrocket. His body was resplendent as he absorbed the divine energy in the starry pool. With each passing day, Su Yan's aura became stronger. He had opened the 8th sacred gate and stepped into the 8th level of the Tao Gate realm. Su Yan's body was powerful, and his vitality was exuberant. He was like a divine furnace standing in the pool, surging with shocking blood essence fluctuations like a roaring river. As he absorbed the starry sky, heavenly liquid, Su Yan felt a kind of power, a power that was comparable to the sky. It was an unparalleled source of power, like the pulse of the starry sky beating. His body was blazing, and a blurry light drilled out from his body. It was filled with boundless strength, like a carrier of laws. However, Su Yan still couldn't understand it. He had already come into contact with this kind of power, but it was very difficult to control. 5 days and 5 nights passed. Su Yan's starry sky divine furnace was cultivated. It contained shocking divine energy, and it burned vigorously, burning through the vacuum. Rumble. Su Yan's body rumbled. The moment he cultivated the starry sky divine furnace, the three great furnaces were in full operation. In Su Yan's body, 3 layers of light flashed and illuminated the starry sky. Heaven and earth furnace, golden body furnace, and starry sky divine furnace. Su Yan's body was golden, and his aura was like a star, surging with terrifying divine light. Under Su Yan's eruption, the 3 great furnaces rang out. When they recovered to the extreme, the 3 furnaces collided, intertwined, and gave birth to a destructive aura. They faintly turned into blood essence beams that pierced through the sky. It's time to break through. Chapter 2:17. Su Yan's skin was golden, and his blood was vigorous. His bones were like mountains, and his internal organs were strong. Once the 3 great furnaces were cultivated, they would explode to their strongest state and combine together. A complete physical body was born, and from the inside out, it released a monstrous aura. The divine energy in the entire starry sky pool was rapidly depleting and was about to be depleted. The Inception Sutra's absorption speed was too shocking, and the divine liquid in the starry sky pool was almost completely sucked dry. Su Yan rushed to the peak in a spurt of energy, and his body surged with a blinding light that illuminated the starry sky. Rumble! This was a spurt of energy, and it caused Su Yan's aura to soar greatly. His physical body's strength began to multiply, and the aura of a divine ability spread out. What was this? This was a divine ability realm physical body. Su Yan's physical body was like a great divine ability, and his physique had soared to the extreme. With the nourishment of the starry sky, heavenly liquid, Su Yan's divine body improved by a lot. A vast sea of chaos appeared behind him, and the vision became more realistic. As for Su Yan's physical body, a divine ability light was born, illuminating the starry sky. Strands of divine ability aura fell from the inside of his body. His bones and internal organs all exuded the divine ability aura. He seemed to have disappeared, and in his place was a shadow that looked down on the past, present, and future. It was as if there was a heavenly deity standing in his body, brewing the fluctuations of a supreme divine ability. However, this strand of aura, the power to nurture a divine ability, didn't burst out in the end. It stopped abruptly. Su Yan sat on the ground and looked at the starry sky pool. The divine liquid in the pool had been depleted, but it still didn't allow his physical body to activate a divine ability. This meant that the divine ability was too strong, and Su Yan couldn't nurture it in his current state. He even guessed that it was related to his physique. His physique had a serious flaw, and he needed to find treasures to fix it. Divine ability realm. Nurturing a divine ability. It's a pity that I failed. I wonder what kind of natal divine ability will be born when my 9-day song gates merge into one. Su Yan said in his heart. There were strong and weak natal divine abilities. It was already a great opportunity to nurture a top-notch minor divine ability. After all, it was nurtured by his own Tao sect. There was a lot of room for growth in the future. Only an extremely small number of lucky individuals would be able to nurture great divine abilities. This was already incredible, and in the future, it could accompany the cultivator's cultivation for the rest of their lives. My battle prowess is even stronger now. Su Yan stood up. With the 8-day song gates and the 3 great furnaces combined into one, Su Yan discovered that his battle prowess had increased by many times. This made him shocked and moved. He thought for a while and then shook his head. With his current battle prowess, he was still far from Yao Wang and the others. After all, the difference was too great. Once his sacred gate merged into one and opened the secret door, his divine power would skyrocket. He didn't know if he would be able to compete with Transcendence Realm cultivators. Although there is still a gap between me and the Transcendence Realm cultivators will find it difficult to suppress me when I use the earth shrinking technique. My current physical body should be comparable to a transcendence realm cultivator. This opportunity is too great. In the future, it will be difficult for my physical body and divine power to increase much. Suyin stood up and left. His adventure in the Big Dipper Pagoda was already over. If he wanted to go to the next round, he had to step into the divine ability realm. Suyin was looking forward to what kind of opportunity he would encounter the next time he came. He changed his appearance slightly, pushed open the door, and appeared outside. This was the back door, but this door led to the central region of the Big Dipper. Suyin looked at this domain from afar. He was shocked from the bottom of his heart. It was like a supreme pure land where the sun, moon, and stars could be seen when he looked up. They were delicate and beautiful, sprinkling light that radiated across the domain. Spirit mountains and great rivers steamed with rosy clouds, and auspicious colors fell down. It was dazzling. Suyin took a deep breath as if he had swallowed a mouthful of spirit liquid. He couldn't help but sigh. This was the most powerful ancient planet. He even found that the domain was filled with the aura of the great Tao. It was very thick, as if it was close at hand and could be touched at any time. Could the mountain that looks like a snowy mountain be here? Where is the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion? Suyin whispered in his heart. There were many cultivators nearby. Suyin walked over to listen, and his expression changed immediately. Zhu Xing is too sinister. He hid here and almost killed a mutated beast with one arrow. The Outer Realm prodigy is hateful. He lost face and now wants to kill a mutated beast to vent his anger. I heard that Zhu Xing is so arrogant that he even dared to attack the Big Dipper Fairy's disciple. He wants to suppress Xing Jingfu and make her his personal maid. He is too bold and unbridled. How hateful. The sovereign physique and the Big Dipper heavens chosen are probably still in the trial. Otherwise, they would have come out and taught Zhu Xing a lesson. The discussions here made Suyin's expression unsightly. Zhu Xing had treated the Tai Baokai like a wild beast and shot an arrow that almost pierced through the Tai Baotsai's body. If not for the Tai Baotsai's spatial contraction, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Suyin furiously rushed out and searched for the Tai Baotsai's whereabouts, following the traces of battle in this area. He met many people along the way and heard their discussions. The Tai Baokai was injured. Its thigh had been pierced and was bleeding profusely. It was madly rushing towards the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. Suyin's speed was astonishing as he used spatial contraction. Now, Suyin could barely cross the void. He was as fast as a ghost as he flew towards the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. Along the way, Suyin saw some dilapidated cities and halls. After all, the Big Dipper star was extremely prosperous. Its former glory was now in shambles. It was unknown what calamity had befallen the Big Dipper star. Rumble. Suyin sensed energy fluctuations from far away. He swooped down and saw a scene with his eyes wide open. Zhu Xing was extremely powerful. He stood on top of a mountain and held a blood-colored bow in his hand. This bow was terrifying. It vibrated and emitted a bloody radiance that illuminated the sky. Every arrow tore through the sky like a blood-colored dragon. It rushed dozens of miles away, emitting a sinister, killing intent. Kiki, you evil creature. If I don't play properly, how can I be worthy of my 10 days of seclusion? Zhu Xing was like a blood-colored demonic god. He wore blood-colored armor and stared coldly at the Tai Baokai. Arrow after arrow shot out, each of them capable of shaking the void. They were suffused with shocking killing intent as they shot towards the fleeing Tai Baokai. The Tai Baotsai's injuries were severe. It was limping, and there was a blood-colored arrow stuck in its leg. It let out a low roar. It was furious, and its pupils were suffused with killing intent. It continuously used spatial contraction and merged with the void to block the arrow attacks. However, the void was trembling, causing the Tai Baokai to cough up blood. It let out a mad roar. It had suffered too great a loss. Han Tong. The Tai Baokai cursed fiercely. You dog. I'm helping your Big Dipper lineage get back at you. You're just sitting there and not helping. It wasn't just Han Tong. The Mizar Greatchild and the Alcade Greatchild were also here. They were watching coldly from the sidelines. If it weren't for the extraterrestrial geniuses hunting down the Tai Baokai, they would have attacked the Tai Baokai long ago. Han Tong's expression was cold and showed signs of attacking. Don't blame me for not giving the Big Dipper fairy any face if you dare attack again. Zhu Xing's attitude was unyielding. His eyes scanned the group of Big Dipper lineage disciples, led by Xing Jingfu. Although Su Yin is a disciple of the Big Dipper lineage, this evil creature isn't. Han Tong was calm and composed with his hands behind his back. His divine might was awe-inspiring. He suppressed Xing Jingfu and didn't let them interfere. He stood there and watched the show. He really wanted to know how Tai Baokai died here. Eldest senior brother, no matter what, it's still an entity of our Big Dipper lineage. Are you just going to watch it get killed by extraterrestrial geniuses? Xing Jingfu and the other disciples couldn't bear to see the Tai Baokai being cruelly shot to death. Now, they were standing in a hall. This was the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. As long as the Tai Baokai came to the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion, it would be able to preserve its life. Shut up. Don't you know Hall Daozu? Han Tong's expression sank as he shouted. The ancestral hall isn't something our Big Dipper lineage can offend. Zhu Xing has suffered twice because of it. Do you think he'll let it go? Whoever dares to go out, and help will be punished according to the sect rules. This Zhu Xing is even targeting me. Do you think he cares about the Big Dipper lineage? If word gets out, where will our Big Dipper lineage's face be? Xing Jingfu was furious. Strands of terrifying starry aura emerged from her body. Only the heavens knew what kind of physique she had. The life spring she had opened was boundless and astonishing. The divine force in her body was beyond ordinary. Who are you talking to? You're challenging my authority. Han Tong was furious as he looked at her coldly. Was Xing Jingfu disobedient? Look, some were agitated and some were in disbelief. The Star Lord's treasure. What? The faces of Mizar Juzi and the rest changed abruptly. It was too sudden. Su Yin had used shrinking ground to inches and merged with the void, silently appearing in front of Zhu Xing. In an instant, he had summoned the Star Pagoda. The 10-tall Star Pagoda was surrounded by divine light. It pierced through the sky, and an unparalleled source of energy emerged. Bam! Su Yin shouted angrily as he swung the Star Pagoda at a terrifying speed towards Zhu Xing. A shocking source of divine power emerged. It was so powerful that even the void sank. He felt it was a pity that he couldn't unleash the power of the Dao weapon due to the suppression of the Great Dao. Otherwise, he could have injured Zhu Xing shrunk. He must be Su Yan. How dare he come here? But how could the Star Lord's treasure be in Su Yan's hands? Yao Guang Juzi and the others were furious. Princess Yao Guang had been kicked to death by Su Yan, yet he still dared to appear here. However, the Star Pagoda in Su Yan's hands made Han Tong's expression change. The power contained in the pagoda was astonishing. Zhu Xing's body was trembling. If it weren't for the blood-colored armor, the Star Pagoda would have seriously injured him. But the power of this sneak attack was too abnormal. Even though Zhu Xing had erupted with energy to resist, his speed was slowed down. The moment the Star Pagoda came crashing down, it shattered the void and filled the air with a monstrous aura. Ah! Zhu Xing roared out in pain. Cracks appeared on his head, and blood flowed out. It was split open. Chapter 218. Punk. Under Xing Jingfu and the others' stunned gazes, Zhu Xing's head was smashed by the stellar pagoda until blood spurted out. He fell heavily to the ground, creating a large crater. The surrounding onlookers' eyes widened. They were dazzled because it was too sudden. The stellar pagoda had appeared from the void and smashed a crack into Zhu Xing's head. Who did this? They couldn't believe their eyes. This was Zhu Xing, a chosen for the other realms. This wasn't the Big Dipper Tower. Back in the wastelands, Zhu Xing had the strongest battle prowess. Not even Mizar Juzi and the others could stand a chance against him. But someone had almost smashed his head apart. Wasn't this too savage? Chi-Chi. It was also at this moment that waves of divine light surged out. Thousands of resplendent divine lights combined into a monstrous light that shot towards the area Su Yin was in. Zhu Yaoguang had made his move. He was powerful beyond compare. His entire body was filled with resplendent divine light. It was as if a purple sun was awakening. The resplendent divine light bombarded the void where Su Yin was hiding. Su Yin was wearing a purple battle armor. He was hiding in the void. When he sensed the overwhelming divine light rushing towards him, he instantly used spatial contraction to distort the void. Pong! One had to admit that Zhu Yaoguang was terrifying. The divine light that filled the sky caused the void to tremble and distort. Layers of the void were penetrated by the divine light. It was as if countless murderous intents had penetrated the void and were aimed at Su Yin. Zhu Yaoguang attacked with rage. However, he had underestimated spatial contraction. The divine light shrouded only an afterimage. Su Yin moved away and dodged Zhu Yaoguang's attack. Boom! At this moment, the great earth rumbled and the surroundings swayed. Countless ancient trees collapsed, and a demon-like figure rose from the ground. His head of hair danced about chaotically, and his entire body emitted a terrifying blood-colored divine radiance that illuminated the heavens. Zhu Xing's hair was disheveled. Blood spilled from his head. His eyes were ferocious and contained a murderous intent that could collapse the heavens. Buzz! At this moment, Han Tong opened his eyes. His pupils were filled with boundless fluctuations of the starry sky. The moment they opened, they pierced through the void and found Su Yin hiding in the void. Han Tong! Su Yin's eyes widened in anger. Once again, he used the spatial bending technique to twist the space around him. His physical body was strong, but a cultivator in the transcendence realm had terrifying spiritual energy. He had to avoid it. Get out here! However, Zhu Xing erupted with ferocity. He rushed forward and raised his blood-colored palm, crushing the void. He was absolutely furious and wanted to kill Su Yin right here and now. The purple battle armor on Su Yin's body was sparkling and translucent. It was intertwined with law patterns, and its defensive power was astonishing. But Zhu Xing was too powerful. His palm strike caused the violet armor to twist and crack. A terrifying aura seeped in, causing Su Yan's body to tremble like a divine weapon. This scene left everyone aghast. Su Yan's physical body was too strong. He was actually able to withstand some of Zhu Xing's power. Han Tong! Su Yan gritted his teeth. He took out a divine pagoda that he obtained from Shui Long's spatial treasure. The divine pagoda erupted and blocked Zhu Xing's palm strike. The spatial bending technique was used again. Su Yin disappeared into the void and rushed towards the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Buzz! Han Tong had his hands behind his back. He was majestic. Once again, he opened his silver eyes and saw through Su Yin, who was crossing the void. After all, Su Yin had not grasped the essence of the spatial bending technique. Han Tong could still capture Su Yan's traces. Boom! Yao Guang had already rushed over, and a huge figure rose behind him. The lawful embodiment of heaven and earth emitted a vast aura. It covered the sky and covered the earth as it slashed towards the void that Su Yin was traversing. Layer after layer of divine brilliance was enough to overturn rivers and seas. Heavens! The surrounding people were aghast. Even the Transcendence divine armor could not stop Yao Guang. It was about to be shattered by the divine light that burst out from him. However, the next scene caused everyone to be alarmed. Xing Jingfu rushed out. The divine power in her body was so vigorous that it made people's scalps tingle. It was like a concentrated sea of stars, releasing heavenly divine power. What kind of powerful divine power was this? It blasted up and blocked Yao Guang's Transcendence divine armor. Su Yin took the opportunity to rush into the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. This was a place of war. The Transcendence realm is indeed the Transcendence realm. Su Yin frowned. The Transcendence divine armor on his body had been repaired. However, he was fine. His body was tyrannical and would not be suppressed in a short exchange. Tai Baokai was limping and covered in wounds. He was lying on the ground, absorbing the divine power of the heavenly essence stone to heal his injuries. Bastard! Yao Guang's expression was very ugly. He had almost captured Su Yin alive. He said angrily, "Xing Jingfu, who allowed you to attack?" Zhu Xing's expression was cold. His face was faintly sinister as he stared at Su Yin. His eyes were filled with killing intent. This person had appeared too suddenly and caused him to suffer a great loss. "Come out." Zhu Xing looked down at Su Yin from high above and said fiercely, "Get out here. I don't care who you are. Get out here. Why are you calling your father?" Su Yin glanced at Zhu Xing and sneered. "What are you shouting for? Go to the Big Dipper Tower, if you dare. Are you talking to me?" Zhu Xing's eyes were wide with anger. He had the will to conquer the Big Dipper Tower, but he had been humiliated repeatedly. Forget about the sovereign physique and the Big Dipper prodigy. He had been defeated twice by a Tai Baokai. How could he bear such humiliation? If Su Yin had not interfered just now, he would have killed Tai Baokai by now. "Shut up." Han Tong was imposing without being angry. He stared coldly at Su Yin and scolded, "How dare you speak so rudely to Brother Zhu Xing? I don't care whose disciple you are. Get out here immediately and apologize. Don't think that I can't do anything to you just because you're hiding in the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Who do you think you are? How dare you order me around?" Su Yin silently recuperated. He looked at Han Tong and reprimanded, "According to seniority, I'm still your uncle. Nephew Han Tong, get down on your knees and greet me." "What did you say?" Han Tong's eyes were about to pop out. Even Mizar Juzi was angry. Han Tong had to call Su Yin martial uncle? Didn't that mean they had to call him martial uncle too? But this person was even younger than him. "What? You're not convinced?" Su Yin closed his eyes and said, "Even the Big Dipper Fairy has to call me senior brother. Am I more senior than the Star Lord? I'm already giving you face by not letting you kneel and call me patriarch. How dare you? Get out here and accept your punishment." Han Tong was furious. Although they didn't know whose disciple Su Yin was, his tone was too arrogant. The Big Dipper Fairy called him senior brother? They didn't believe that Su Yin was some patriarch's disciple at all. Did Master really call you senior brother? Xing Jingfu seemed to believe it. After all, Su Yin had the Big Dipper Fairy's ultimate treasure. Su Yin and the Big Dipper Fairy's relationship was probably not simple. "Of course. Why don't you greet your martial uncle?" Su Yin said seriously. Xing Jingfu's face darkened. She pouted and said, "How old are you? Even if your seniority is higher than mine, but what's there to but about?" Su Yin said disapprovingly, "Han Tong and the others are all my nephews. How about this? We'll talk about our own matters and treat each other as equals." Han Tong and the others were livid. They were gritting their teeth. "Who are your nephews?" "Ha!" Zhu Xing said coldly, "The Big Dipper lineage is really good. You're the Big Dipper Fairy's disciple, and you're not bad either. I didn't want to make things difficult for you, but since you've interfered, don't blame me for being ruthless. I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of the Big Dipper Fairy." "And you?" Zhu Xing's cold eyes stared at Su Yin. He said coldly, "I'm very interested in spatial contraction. Hand it over, and I'll spare you. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die a horrible death." "Go to the Big Dipper Tower if you can," Su Yin replied lightly. "The test doesn't mean anything. I, Zhu Xing, used to roam the major galaxies." Zhu Xing looked proud. He said coldly, "What kind of genius haven't I seen? There are also geniuses who are more heaven-defying than the Big Dipper prodigies, but they all tremble at my feet in the end. The Big Dipper prodigies are no exception. Go to the Big Dipper Tower if you can," Su Yin replied again. "Bastard." Zhu Xing's eyes widened in anger. He was holding back his anger, and his expression was very ugly. "Brother Zhu Xing, please don't be angry." Yao Guang walked up and said coldly, "Can he hide here for the rest of his life? Let him be arrogant for a while. I'll teach him a lesson later." Yao Guang. Xia Chun was young, but she had cultivated to the transcendence realm. Her breath was like orchids, and her skin was snow white. She glared at her and said, "Su Yin is now a disciple of the Big Dipper clan. How can you speak for an outsider? Shut up. Han Tong reprimanded Xia Chun. You're just a servant. Who allowed you to speak like that? Do you think you can go against your superiors just because you've been with the Big Dipper Fairy for a few years? Xia Chun's clear eyes widened, and her face flushed red with anger. Han Tong. Zhu Xing glanced at Xia Chun and frowned. That's where you're wrong. This girl has been with Zhu Yue for over 100 years. She's my woman from now on. You can't call her a servant. It's Bamboo Moon's honor for her to be your woman. Han Tong smiled faintly. Xia Chun, why don't you come out and greet your master? You're so lucky to be favored by brother Zhu Xing. Han Tong, you've gone too far. Xia Chun was so angry that her face turned green. You're crazy. How dare you disrespect your superiors? When I return to the sect, I'll beg the sect elders to expel you from the Big Dipper clan. Han Tong replied calmly. I say, nephew Han Tong, Su Yin said in a deep voice, I see that you and Zhu Xing are in the same boat. How about this? You can quit being the Big Dipper brother. Follow Zhu Xing and do odd jobs for the Big Dipper clan. You'll definitely bring glory to your ancestors in the future. Han Tong's aura spread out, and strands of undisguised murderous intent rolled out. He shouted angrily, Get out here. Didn't you call yourself Martial Uncle? Get out here and fight. What Han Tong? Chapter 219. There were already quite a number of onlookers here. Su Yan's words left them speechless. Banished to the residence as a slave? You really dare to say that? You're really tired of living. Han Tong's expression was a little cold. His entire body was overflowing with ferocity. He looked down at Su Yin and shouted, If you have the ability, come out and fight. I'll let you die without a burial ground. A young man suddenly stood up, holding a golden spear, and shouted angrily, Eldest senior brother, don't go too far. Su Yin is a disciple of the Big Dipper lineage. You're only in the Dharma phase realm. It's not true that you're strong enough to defeat the weak. Xiao Yi, you dare to go against me. Han Tong was furious. What kind of disciple is he? Xiao Yi's battle strength was tyrannical and was famous among the younger generation. Although he was a little young, in a few years, he would not be inferior to Yao Guang and the others. How would I dare to go against eldest senior brother? Xiao Yi sneered. The Master of the Stars has already given the order. You're the one who repeatedly questioned the Master of the Stars. Now, you want Su Yin to die without a burial ground. Han Tong's expression was uncertain. Xiao Yi mentioning the Master of the Stars made him restrain himself a lot. However, his eyes were still filled with killing intent when he looked at Su Yin. Damn, he's too arrogant. Tai Baokai was incomparably angry. After all, they had cultivated for too short time. It was very difficult for them to fight head-on with a Dharma phase realm cultivator. Su Yan's eyes flashed with a cold light. He closed his eyes and cultivated silently. This scene made Yao Guang and the others shake their heads. They said disdainfully, He won't be able to catch up to us even if we give him another 10 years. Let's see how long he can hide in the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. There were already many cultivators here. Even the Little Dragon King and the Void Beast King had rushed over. There were dozens of young prodigies here. Outside the Star Tomb, Shaowen suddenly sent news, which made Bamboo Moon surprised and happy. Su Yin had appeared. What? He went to the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion? He even offended Zhu Xing. Bamboo Moon's white jade-like hands quietly clenched, secretly anxious. After all, he has only been cultivating for a few years. How can he stop a Transcendence Realm cultivator? Bamboo Moon laughed bitterly. You little native, what are you thinking? You've only been cultivating for a few years, and you even dare to go to the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Star-Lord, is Su Yin your senior brother? Xiao Wen's old face was filled with astonishment as he said in astonishment, Looks like he really is a disciple of some patriarch. Could Su Yin really be the Big Dipper prodigy? Ha! Elder Xiao Wen, are you daydreaming? The Shui family head said coldly, Su Yin is a Big Dipper prodigy? You must be joking. Bamboo Moon's face darkened as she muttered in her heart. When did I become your junior sister? You little native, you really know how to talk. Just wait and see how I'll take care of you in the future. Little native, you must come out alive. If you hibernate for a few decades, you might be able to compete with Shui Guan in the future. Zhu Yu's beauty was peerless. Her black hair danced in the wind. She realized that she was a little nervous and could not help but sigh. Su Yan's appearance had a great impact on her. She could only hope that he could come out safely. A large number of cultivators had gathered at the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Everyone was waiting for the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion to open. It's open. Su Yan's eyes suddenly opened as he looked at the 5 great halls standing in front of him. Let's go to the Red Hall. It's a scripture pavilion in the physical domain. Only the physical strength could be used here. Su Yan said telepathically, with my current physical body, I shouldn't be any weaker than Zhu Xing and the others. If we compete in physical strength later, I won't lose. Tai Baokai stood up and saw the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion emitting an ancient aura. It's opening. The surrounding people were excited and their eyes were burning. They might be able to obtain a divine ability. The 5 halls came to life one after another, gushing with auspicious light. Ancient scriptures were chanted solemnly. Each hall emitted a different fluctuation. The halls were different in shape, but each one was as heavy as an abyss and emitted an aura that made all living things tremble. Boom! The heavy doors emitted the aura of the great Tao. When they slowly opened, the divine light was so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. Come back quickly. Xiao Wen's face turned pale because just as the doors opened, Su Yan and Tai Baokai rushed into a red hall. This hall was blazing like the sun. The doors didn't look big, but barging in was like entering a starry sky. There was no doubt that the 5 halls were spatial treasures. Ha ha! This scene made Yao Guang laugh angrily. I think you guys are tired of living. Eldest senior brother, leave this kid to me. You guys go find the Big Dipper Scripture. That's good. Han Tong wasn't angry. Their purpose here was to find the Big Dipper Scripture. The people here were also stunned. Yao Guang and the others had their eyes on Tai Baokai and Su Yan. They still dared to rush into the Red Hall? We'll hold them back. You guys go to the other 4 halls and search for the secret technique. Su Yan's voice made Xiao Wen grit his teeth. He roared, look at the big picture. As long as we can find the Big Dipper Scripture, the Star Master will definitely be able to take another step forward and touch the realm of the gods. At that time, the 7 hall masters won't dare to disobey. A large number of cultivators had already rushed into the 5 halls. The 5 halls were different in shape and contained different secret techniques. The cultivators would all choose a hall that had a similar aura to their own. For example, this red hall was filled with an ancient aura. It was impossible to verify how long it had existed. In the distant past, the Big Dipper lineage dominated a region of the universe. There was no doubt about the lineage's background. Even the Divine King would have to bow before him. Yao Guang and the others were very clear. There was no doubt that the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion had great divine abilities. Of course, great divine abilities were very difficult to cultivate. Not every great divine ability was suitable for Yao Guang and the others. As for divine abilities, the Big Dipper lineage also had one. That was the Big Dipper Fist. Ever since the Big Dipper star collapsed, no one could display the true might of the Big Dipper Fist. This divine ability's reputation gradually disappeared in the long river of time. If that's the case, we can only display our physical strength here. Su Yan and Tai Baokai rushed into the Red Hall. As soon as they arrived, a vast pressure was transmitted from the hall, sealing their life springs. Inside this hall, there were scriptures and divine abilities that were helpful for physical cultivation. Therefore, those who came here to fight for divine abilities had to have powerful physical bodies. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to obtain the recognition of the inheritance. So big, Tai Baotsai's eyes were like a bronze bell. This was a red world. It was too vast. There were countless balls of light in this world, and within each ball of light, there was a divine ability, fluctuation. They are all ordinary divine abilities. Su Yan looked around and said, generally speaking, great figures could create divine abilities. However, it was said that to create a great divine ability, one had to be almighty. Therefore, great divine abilities in the cultivation world were too rare. Normally, they wouldn't be passed down to outsiders. At this moment, many people had already rushed in. Some people picked up divine ability balls of light to study before they were transported away. Here, one person could only take one divine ability. There were 5 halls, and only 5 could be taken. The blood-red space was huge. Su Yin and Tai Baokai rushed in. They sensed the aura of great divine abilities. However, to find the location of great divine abilities in this vast blood-red space, they needed some luck. Look, there are some floating halls here. Su Yin was moved. He saw some floating halls in the blood-red space. They were hazy with the aura of divine abilities. Within each hall, there was a divine ability burning. The light beams were blazing. There are too many halls. How can we identify great divine abilities? Su Yin frowned. Once he obtained one, he would be transported away. It wasn't easy to come here, and Su Yin wasn't willing to give up this opportunity. Boom! At this moment, an earth-shattering pressure spread out from behind them. Zhu Xing had already rushed over. His aura was astonishing. His body surged with blood-red divine light as he furiously pressed down on Su Yin and Tai Baokai. Su Yin's feet glowed. His entire body became one with the void. Once the great divine ability, shrinking Earth into inches, was activated, the void was distorted. He and Tai Baokai left behind afterimages and mysteriously disappeared. Bang! The void rumbled from the impact. Zhu Xing's face was gloomy. He swooped down again, madly rushing towards the area where Su Yin appeared again. Damn it, stop right there. Zhu Xing was furious. He couldn't lock onto Su Yin even after more than 10 attempts. I'm just taking the dog for a walk. Tai Baokai turned his head and grinned. Little Zhu Xing, I'll take you to exercise. You're courting death. I'll chop you alive. All of a sudden, Zhu Xing's eyes widened in anger. His entire body erupted with a monstrous blood-red light. A blood-red halberd suddenly appeared in his hand. It emitted a blood-red light and an extremely fierce fluctuation. What a terrifying weapon. The cultivators passing by were emboldened. This blood-red halberd was too terrifying. It split open the sky, and a huge black crack spread out in the void. Even the Transcendence Realm beings were pale. This weapon was too frightening. It even split open a huge crack in the void. The power of the great Tao couldn't be used here, but this weapon could split the void in half. It was too sharp. A treasure of the void. Su Yin grabbed Tai Baokai at lightning speed and used ground shrink to cross the void. The area he had just left collapsed with a rumble. The energy source squeezed out from the void caused the void to become chaotic. It even caved in and was on the verge of collapsing. Su Yin was horrified. This weapon was too shocking. If not for Zhu Xing's combat strength being suppressed, this attack would have been incredible. Kacha! Zhu Xing struck out with the blood-red halberd again. This blood-red halberd was like an evil dragon. It was suffused with an aura that could split open the sky. It split open the void again, creating a huge black crack. It was going to swallow Su Yin and Tai Baokai. This treasure is too powerful. Su Yan's eyes turned red. This was a killing weapon forged from void stones. It was terrifying beyond compare. With a light stroke, it could split open the void and produce the great void crack slash. A top-grade Tao weapon. It's worth no less than 5,000 Heaven's Essence Stones. Tai Baocai's eyes turned red. They sensed it at close range. Every time Zhu Xing brandished the blood-red halberd, they felt as though their bodies and souls were being destroyed. I wonder if Xiao Yi and the rest have found the Big Dipper Sutra. I feel that there is no hope. The Star Tomb has been opened many times, but the Big Dipper Sutra has never been found. I suspect that it is not even in the 5 major halls. Su Yan's spirit was highly tensed. He avoided the blood-red halberd's blade and transmitted his voice at the same time. I also speculated so. Could it be that the Big Dipper Sutra has long been lost? Tai Baokai frowned. It shouldn't be. Su Yin shook his head and said, I suspect that it is still in the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. Do you think there are other Sutra Pavilions? The strongest heaven art of the Big Dipper lineage, the Big Dipper Sutra, and the strongest ability, the Fist of the Big Dipper, Tai Baokai suddenly said. They should have some kind of connection. It is said that the fist of the Big Dipper can only display its greatest power in the Big Dipper. Hearing this, Su Yin was moved. He pondered carefully and searched for the Big Dipper Sutra. Did he need the fist of the Big Dipper? However, as he continued to circulate the Big Dipper fist, he did not feel that anything was amiss. Su Yin wondered if there was a sixth hall. At this moment, Zhu Xing was gasping for breath. He had been attacking for a long time without success and was greatly exhausted. The passers-by were alarmed. Zhu Xing was so angry that his eyes were bloodshot. Boom! Suddenly, layers upon layers of majestic auras swept through the entire Sutra Pavilion. This was the aura of a great ability. It was as if the ancient starry skies were erupting. It was suffused with an aura that suppressed all life in the universe. This was a divine ability palace opening, revealing a resplendent divine ability jade slip, suspended in the void. The aura of a great ability. The entire blood-red space was shaken. This was the aura of a great ability. The jade slip even awakened on its own and projected a shadow. It was as if the starry sky, tyrant physique, was invincible in the universe. His physical body surged with a domineering aura that could dominate the 9 heavens and 10 earths. He was like the divine king who looked down on the past, present, and future. His physical body propped up the universe, and his blood essence was like an ocean. The eyes of the cultivators who saw this scene turned red. This was definitely a great offensive technique. A great ability left behind by the starry sky tyrant physique. Chapter 220. That's a powerful skill. The Astral Beast King was pleasantly surprised. It had opened the door and encountered a powerful skill. Boom! When its hand touched the light, the jade scroll vibrated, and it was difficult for it to take it away. Astral Beast King. This is a unique skill of the Big Dipper. You can leave now. Great Child Yao Guang swooped down and stretched out a hand. Starlight swirled around it as it grabbed the divine ability jade slip in the hall. Ridiculous. If I can't have it, you won't either. A glint of coldness flashed in the Astral Beast King's eyes. Its physical body was so strong that it was like a burning furnace. Blood was spilling out of its body. Its entire body was filled with a destructive aura. Boom! The void was trembling. The Astral Beast King's physical body was strong. It reached out its hand and clashed with Yao Guang's hand. Everyone who rushed over from all directions sucked in a breath of cold air. Great Child Yao Guang's body trembled violently as he staggered back. He had been forced back by a palm strike from the Star King Beast. Yao Guang, that's all you got. The Astral Beast King shook its head. You want to compete with me? You're not good enough. We Astral Beasts are born with strong physical bodies. How dare you compete with me in terms of physical strength? Astral Beasts are rare. I didn't know that there was an Astral Beast King here. Zhu Xing walked over with his blood-red halberd. He stared at the Astral Beast King and commented, Good. This Astral Beast King is good. I need a mount. You're the one. You from the Ancestral Hall think that I don't dare to kill you. The Starry Sky Beast King was furious. Its flesh was incomparably powerful, and when it threw itself over murderously, the void rumbled, as if it was going to collapse. It was even carrying a void sword that was as valuable as Zhu Xing's blood-red halberd. Boom! When the two weapons collided, the Astral Beast King's hand and Zhu Xing's hand collided at the same time. There was a deafening noise that shook the surroundings. Many people were shocked, but neither of them stepped back. It meant that they were evenly matched. Astral Beast King. Zhu Xing raised his head and laughed. Great Child Yao Guang, cooperate with me and suppress it. I don't want any great skills, I just want this mount. Thank you, Brother Zhu Xing. Great Child Yao Guang laughed and stood together with Zhu Xing to attack the Cosmic King Beast. I'm afraid this Beast King won't be able to win. As Su Yin approached, Tai Baokai whispered, When it's in a more miserable state, we'll join forces with it. Who knows, we might be able to take away its great divine ability. The battle here was intense. The two heavens favorites were working together, and the Starry Sky King Beast was forced back again and again. However, the Starry Sky King Beast was extremely extraordinary. It was able to temporarily block the attacks of the two heavens' favorites and defend the gate. Jia. Zhu Xing sneered and used the blood-red halberd to suppress the Starry Sky killing sword. His whole body was filled with the aura of heaven flipping. When the flipping sky seal was formed, the whole area was filled with countless auras of destruction. This attack was very frightening. Zhu Xing's palm turned the sky and earth upside down as it slashed towards the cosmic beast king. This palm was about to suppress the beast to the ground. Buzz! Right at this moment, a tattered cauldron suddenly smashed over, charging towards Yao Guang. Evil creature! Great child Yao Guang turned his head and saw the bronze cauldron thrown by Tai Baokai. He was disdainful as he raised one hand and hit the broken cauldron. This cauldron was indeed broken, but when his palm hit it, the cauldron didn't move at all. It roared on its own and was filled with an extremely powerful aura. It almost shattered great child Yao Guang's entire palm. What treasure is this? Even a broken Dao weapon isn't this strong? Could it be a special treasure? Great child Yao Guang gasped. This cauldron was too sturdy and had automatically defended against his power. Who is it? Great child Yao Guang frowned. The next moment, his expression changed drastically. The cauldron was filled with an imperceptible void fluctuation. An afterimage flew out and crossed into the Divine Abilities Hall at lightning speed, shrinking Earth to inches. It's Su Yan. Great child Yao Guang's eyes widened in anger as he rushed forward to stop Su Yan. Get out! The Starry Sky King Beast shouted coldly as its combat power soared. It wouldn't allow great child Yao Guang to get close. Falling into their hands was much better than falling into Su Yan's hands. What a joke. Even the Starry Sky King Beast can't take it away. Su Yan, what qualifications do you have to take this divine ability? Wishful thinking. Great child Yao Guang was angry and then sneered. He was originally nervous, but now he didn't think so. Could Su Yan take the divine ability away? Immediately afterwards, his expression became abnormal. It was because this streak of divine ability light was rumbling, producing a reaction on its own. Su Yan was delighted as he continued to use the Big Dipper 7 Stars Fist. He could now burst out with 5 fist arts. When the 5 fist arts flashed on his body, they all surged up and rushed towards the divine ability Jade Slip. This divine ability's secret technique roared again as it sensed the potential of Su Yan's body. However, the divine ability's secret technique didn't fly out immediately. What a joke! Great child Yao Guang sneered. He stood at the entrance of the Divine Ability Hall and said, "This is really catching a turtle in a jar. Where can you run to now? Let me give you a saying. If you don't seek death, you won't die. Can't I have it?" Su Yan frowned. Then, his body began to recover once more. From his body, a faint beam of light spread out, carrying with it a terrifying airflow. This was the rules of strength, comprehended from the forging techniques taught to them by the blacksmiths. Su Yan didn't think that the moment this vague rules of strength appeared, the divine ability light beam would erupt. It left space and flew towards Su Yan's palm. This is bad. He has obtained the divine ability. Hurry and stop him. Zhu Xing and great child Yao Guang had ugly complexions. They madly rushed in, wanting to stop Su Yan. Although the Starry Sky King Beast wasn't happy, it still had to do its best. It blocked the two proud sons of heaven, not allowing them half a step closer. This caused great child Yao Guang to explode with anger. Once Su Yan obtained the divine ability, he would be teleported away. The light in Su Yan's body should be the rules of strength, right? It seems he is the Big Dipper's proud son of heaven. The Starry Sky King Beast muttered in its heart. Without a formidable mortal body, it is impossible to grasp this strength. If so, then he is the Big Dipper's proud son of heaven. The more the Starry Sky King Beast thought about it, the more shocked it became. A Big Dipper's proud son of heaven that had even more potential than a supreme body was actually Su Yan. It also understood why Su Yan hadn't been afraid of it back in the Wild Mountains. It turned out that his mortal body was formidable to such a degree. The Tai Baokai took the bronze cauldron and madly fled, rapidly leaving this place. The scene changed. When it reappeared, Su Yin had already arrived outside the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Su Yin actually came out alive. This brat is really lucky. He probably casually took out a divine ability and slipped away. Everyone discussed in low voices, shaking their heads. Su Yin coldly snorted at the disdainful gazes. He sat cross-legged on the ground, inspecting the divine ability light that flew into his sea of consciousness. Su Yan's primordial spirit looked over, and a series of ancient voices suddenly exploded. Tyrant Body Art. I am the Starry Sky Tyrant Body. With Xiong Qi's lifetime's effort, I developed the Tyrant Body Art in the mortal body domain. Once this art is cultivated, you can cross realms to defeat opponents. Its value is not inferior to the 72 great divine abilities. Even in the vast universe, it is comparable to the top secret arts of the major races. This is the secret of the Big Dipper lineage that is not passed on. Su Yan's heart skipped a beat. It was not inferior to the 72 great superpowers. What a great Tyrant Body Art. It can cross realms to defeat opponents. This is a secret art that can enhance strength and is related to the mortal body. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised and continued to read. The Tyrant Body Art uses the mortal body as the foundation to increase the power of the mortal body. Remember, future generations without a strong mortal body foundation cannot cultivate this art. Otherwise, if the Tyrant Body Art is forcefully cultivated, the mortal body foundation will be destroyed. Su Yan was speechless. After all, it was created by the Supreme Body, the Starry Sky Tyrant Body. It required strict conditions to cultivate. In a world of cultivation, this kind of secret art that could enhance strength was not only rare, but also very precious. Su Yan looked at the specific cultivation method of the Tyrant Body Art. At first, he seemed to understand it, but later, the scriptures of the Tyrant Body Art were supported by rules and intertwined with a supreme source of power. This made Su Yan surprised and happy. First of all, the Tyrant Body Art was presented in the form of rules. This was the rules of force. Su Yan's grasp of these rules was very limited. He was still unable to cultivate the Tyrant Body Art. However, the way the Tyrant Body Art was presented made Su Yan pleasantly surprised. He could use this opportunity to comprehend the rules of force and quickly master this art. Su Yan. The Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion was filled with cold, killing intent. The onlookers were shocked to see Zhu Xing come out with a blood-colored halberd. He was like a terrifying demon god who wanted to shatter mountains with a roar. However, he tried his best to restrain himself. The Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion forbade fighting. The surrounding people felt that something was wrong. Why was Zhu Xing so angry? He almost couldn't restrain himself and forcefully attacked Su Yan here. Soon after, Yao Guang also came out. His body emitted a bitter aura that made people feel suffocated. His hair danced in the wind, and his body shone with starlight. His eyes were full of anger. That was a great divine ability. Yao Guang had never seen such a great divine ability before. This meant that it was a great divine ability that had been lost for countless years in the Big Dipper lineage. Its value was difficult to estimate. Who would be willing to let it be snatched away by Su Yan? Su Yan snatched food from the tiger's mouth. He took away a great divine ability. When this news spread out, it caused the surrounding people to be dumbfounded. A great divine ability was extremely rare, and Su Yan had actually taken it away in their three-way competition. If this news spread out, some people would find it hard to believe. Damn, this is a disgrace. Zhu Xing and great son Yao Guang were furious. Su Yan had taken away the great divine ability just like that. Even the Starry Sky King Beast, Zhu Xing, couldn't suppress it. It was a great humiliation to have been intercepted by a little cultivator. Ha ha! The Starry Sky King Beast charged out. Its laughter made Zhu Xing furious. His heart was stifled, and he almost roared out. The Starry Sky King Beast sneered. It was indescribably delighted to see his expression. Its silver hair draped over its shoulders. It had a handsome face that looked like both a man and a woman. It wanted the tyrant body art. Su Yin took out the tyrant body art for the Starry Sky King Beast to take a look. The Starry Sky King Beast tried to read it. Its expression was unsightly because the tyrant body art was a secret of the Big Dipper lineage. Even if the Starry Sky King Beast really took it away, it couldn't read the inheritance inside. Su Yin, Tong was imposing without being angry. His eyes were cold as he walked forward and angrily rebuked. How dare you give my Big Dipper lineage's inheritance to an outsider? Do you know what kind of crime this is? What are you trying to say? Su Yan's eyes fell on Tong. Chapter 2:21. Nephew Tong, you're really domineering. That's exactly what I want. Get rid of all the useless people here immediately. Don't delay. Su Yan's words made everyone's expression change. The higher-ups of the Big Dipper bloodline didn't say that. You're going to answer me like this? Tong's eyes widened in anger. There was an uncontrollable anger surging in his body. Nephew, didn't you just say it? You have to know that this is the property of the Big Dipper bloodline. How can it fall into the hands of outsiders? Su Yan glanced at Tong and sneered. And this Zhu Xing, he dared to steal the secret of the Big Dipper bloodline. Shouldn't you set an example, too? Boom! Outside the Big Dipper scripture pavilion, there was a fury that could burn mountains and boil seas. Zhu Xing's entire body was covered in blood-red light. He held a blood-red halberd and exploded with a power that could split the sky. Su Yan is right. Eldest senior brother, according to what you said, shouldn't you take the lead? Xiao Yi chose to stand on Su Yan's side and glared at Tong. Xing Jingfu, on the other hand, looked at Su Yan with grateful eyes. She had also obtained a great supernormal ability. Fortunately, Su Yan had lured Zhu Xing and Yao Guang away. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult for her to obtain it. Brother Zhu Xing is an important guest of the Big Dipper bloodline. Tong's expression was a little ugly. He said, he's targeting the Cosmic Beast King, not the magical power. Trash, come out and accept your death. Zhu Xing unleashed a fury that could overturn rivers and seas. The blood-red halberd kept awakening. You keep calling me a small fry. Why is an outsider being so arrogant here? The Beast King of the Starry Sky dashed out in an instant, holding the killing sword of the void. Starry Sky waves surged from its body, and even a huge phantom appeared behind it. It could be said that the ancestor of the Beast King of the Starry Sky was manifesting. In an instant, the Cosmic Beast King's aura filled the sky. It charged out to fight Zhu Xing. A great battle broke out outside. The entire mountain range was undulating. Countless killing lights swept in all directions. Some of the mountains were even collapsing. The aura of their collision was shocking. The battle between the two Transcendence realm prodigies attracted everyone's attention. The entire mountain range was riddled with holes, leaving everyone dumbfounded. The Flipping Sky Seal is too powerful. It ranks in the top 10 of the 72 super skills. Even Astral Beast Kings can hardly resist it. The Astral Beast King hasn't shown its true form yet. Otherwise, wouldn't have been knocked back. Zhu Xing's face was not looking good. It was difficult for him to control the Astral Beast King. The Big Dipper's group had suffered setbacks everywhere, which made Zhu Xing very angry. The Beast of the Starry Sky entered the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. It didn't want to waste any more time. It wanted to explore another hall. According to the records of the Beast of the Starry Sky, there is a great skill in the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. It should be hidden in one of the 5 halls. The 5 great halls would continue to open. Su Yan, let me take a look at your great divine ability. Mizar Juzi walked towards Su Yan, his entire body emitting a fiery aura. He said coldly, after all, this is a great spell. A small cultivator like you won't be able to understand much of its true meaning. Once I'm done reading it, I can teach you a thing or two. Su Yan sneered. You want to borrow it? That's easy. Give me your great divine ability in exchange. Mizar Juzi's face darkened. We're all from the same sect. I'm just borrowing it. That's right. I also want to borrow your great divine ability. Su Yan's reply made Mizar Juzi's face turn cold. He said coldly, Su Yan, be careful. There are too many people targeting you now. Since you don't want me to protect your great divine ability, you have to be careful. This was a blatant threat. Don't worry, Marshal Nephew. I'm going to cultivate in seclusion here for 10 years. Who asked me to be so stupid? I'll spend 8 to 10 years to understand this great divine ability. Su Yan's reply made Mizar Juzi and the others almost vomit blood. Cultivate in seclusion for 10 years? Why don't you cultivate in seclusion here for 100 years? However, when they saw Su Yan close his eyes and start cultivating in a serious manner, their faces turned green. These people were so angry that their faces turned green. If Su Yan stayed here and did not leave, they would not be able to do anything to Su Yan. Su Yan began to comprehend the tyrant body technique. He studied the words of the tyrant body technique. He wanted to grasp the rules of force. If I can comprehend the rules of force and cultivate it, I'll be able to evolve the power of lawful embodiment of heaven and earth with the help of my powerful physical body and tyrant body technique. Su Yan muttered in his heart, from the Tao Gate realm, to the divine power realm, to the Dharma characteristic realm. The cultivation of these 3 great realms was closely related to the laws. Using the laws to construct the gates of Tao, the 9 gates of Tao would merge into one and reverse the life spring to evolve the power of the gods, the power of the divine arts. Only when the power of the divine arts flourished to a certain extent would it be able to evolve the avatar. Dharma idol, as the name implied, was the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. Once this secret realm was successfully cultivated, one would be able to evolve an all-encompassing Dharma form. At that time, one's body would be as vast as an ocean, and one's combat strength would be unparalleled. The strength of the Dharma form was also related to the great mystique. Of course, even if one had mastered a great mystique, without the support of a powerful mystique, one's foundation was not enough to evolve a lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. The law of strength belongs to the lineage of body cultivators. The Inception Sutra is a dual body and Dharma cultivation, fusing them together. If I can comprehend the law of strength, I'll be able to unleash the power of the Inception Sutra to its strongest state at every realm. Every day passed. The expressions of Zhu Xing and the others turned ugly. Su Yan had been cultivating in seclusion in such an ostentatious manner. He was really cultivating here. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. News of treasures being unearthed continuously came from the Big Dipper. There were even mineral veins and rare herb fields that were discovered, causing cultivators to fight for them. However, the core of the Big Dipper had yet to appear, and some of the paragons could not be bothered to search for treasures. The Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was still the most lively place as Su Yan woke up slowly. It's about to open. Su Yan looked at the 5 great halls. The 5 great halls shone once again. They were resplendent and blazing, and their radiance was boundless. The 5 halls erupted at the same time, and divine sounds rumbled, spewing with a sacred aura. Torrential sutra chants filled the entire Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. Instantly, cultivators from all over rushed in and headed to the 5 halls to fight for the inheritance. Su Yan looked at the 5 halls. He had become one with the earth vein chi, and his entire body seemed to have disappeared, becoming a part of heaven and earth. At this moment, Su Yan could clearly feel that the 5 halls had turned into 5 spatial treasures that were filled with a torrential aura that pierced through the sky. When the 5 halls were activated to their limits, Su Yan vaguely discovered that the 5 halls were like 5 starry skies. The aura between them was faintly connected as one. "Kid, did you see anything?" Tai Baokai asked. Hearing that, Su Yan came back to his senses and said in a low voice, "There are some secrets hidden in the 5 halls. I can't see through them now, but I should be able to see some clues when I become a rank 3 mystical cultivator." Su Yan had been trapped in this stage for a long time. During this period, his cultivation had increased greatly. With the help of the great Tao Pearl, he was ready to comprehend the inheritance and become a rank 3 mystical cultivator. "Hurry up," Tai Baokai urged. "When we're done here, we'll find the core area and excavate the treasures." After 5 to 6 years of cultivation, we'll definitely be able to cultivate to the transcendence realm. Su Yin nodded. With the help of the great Tao Pearl, he observed the inheritance in the black ore. No one has obtained the great divine power. What kind of luck does Su Yin have? Even a small cultivator like him can obtain a great divine power? A day passed, and the 5 halls closed again. Those who came outside, it was too difficult to obtain a great divine power, and they were indignant. More than a month had passed since the first opening of the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. Zhu Xing and the rest had not left. The anger in their hearts grew stronger and stronger. Su Yin had been cultivating and did not move at all. The Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion opened again. Every time it opened, Su Yin was greatly inspired. He observed the terrain here and merged it with the aura of the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. He vaguely felt that the 5 halls extended through the sky. Su Yin thought. His aura was somewhat ethereal, as if he was one with the terrain. When it opened for the 4th time, it caused quite a commotion. A great divine power appeared again, but it was snatched away by the Astral Beast King. This caused an uproar. The Astral Beast King is too smart. It could have taken away on the 3rd opening, but it chose to give up. The next time it came, there were very few prodigies with it, so it took action to snatch the great divine power. This time, 3 great divine powers appeared in the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. It'll probably be difficult for a 4th great divine power to appear. The Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was extraordinarily lively. Many people had obtained great rewards. There were also some people who obtained great divine powers. They were all waiting for the 5th opening. Under normal circumstances, the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion would close for a period of time after opening 5 times. It's been 4 times, but the Big Dipper Sutra still hasn't appeared. It seems like there's no hope. Bamboo Moon sighed in her heart. Her eyes were full of worry. Could it be that the Daozu sect really didn't leave behind the original copy of the Big Dipper Sutra? Xiao Wan and the rest were deeply worried. The Big Dipper Sutra was missing, which caused the Big Dipper Sutra status in the universe to decline. A force in the universe that lacked a great divine power would gradually disappear from the cultivation world with the passage of time. Perhaps they would be replaced by other forces. It's going to open for the 5th time soon. Can you do it? Tai Baokai was very anxious. If he didn't leave now, it would be difficult for him. Wait a little longer. Su Yan's heart was as calm as still water. He had already touched the door. He was just 1 step away from it. After 3 consecutive observations, Su Yin discovered that there was a very terrifying divine power in the area of the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. This divine power wasn't something that Su Yin could control, but he could still see it. Su Yin speculated that the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was set up by a mysterious person. After all, the Sutra Pavilion was too important. He speculated that there should be a very mysterious seal set up here. Boom! When the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion opened for the 5th time, the 5 major palaces were once again awakened. If that's the case, the 5 major palaces are blazing fiercely each time. It seems that the method to open the core Sutra Pavilion has been lost. Otherwise, Bamboo Moon would know that the real Sutra Pavilion can only be opened at the 5th time. Su Yan's eyes widened as he looked at the 5 major palaces. At this moment, the 5 major palaces were like 5 Tao palaces. Their auras were all different and concealed the power of the 5 elements. You really saw it? Tai Baokai was shocked and then said nervously, "Why don't we let the Big Dipper Master open it? If we rush in now, we won't be able to compete with them." Hearing this, Su Yin said in a low voice, "Bamboo Moon is strong, but the 7 major palaces are covetously eyeing her. If the Big Dipper Sutra really appears, the outside world will definitely fight for it. At that time, the pressure that Bamboo Moon will face will be much greater than ours. After all, it's the temptation of a great divine power. But it's different now," Su Yin said confidently. "But these 5 major palaces conceal the power of the 5 elements. When the 5 elements combine, it can transform into chaos. This is a supreme layout." Tai Baotsai's tiger body shook. The chaos manifested, The great Tao no longer existed, and the rules retreated. Once this layout evolved, one's cultivation would definitely be suppressed. At that time, only the physical strength could be used in the chaos. Damn, the opportunity is here. As long as we bring the Big Dipper Sutra back, Fairy Bamboo Moon will give us at least a few thousand kilograms of heavenly essence stones. Tai Baotsai's eyes turned red. The strongest Sutra Pavilion of the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was likely to appear. Suyin also clenched his fists and prepared to move. Suyin, what's wrong? Want to go in and take a look? Chapter 222. Some cultivators had already rushed into the 5 halls. Some had already given up hope and stayed here to watch. Han Tong's face was gloomy. He had been ignored. Suyin ignored him and walked directly to one of the halls. Yao Guang and the others sneered. Suyin still wanted to go in? Just based on his great divine abilities, he was a moving treasure trove. They all wanted to obtain Su Yan's divine abilities and secret techniques. Su Yan's next actions made them suspicious. Su Yan did not step into the 5 halls. Instead, he wandered around the 5 halls. He observed the various halls and understood that the terrain had been activated to its strongest state. If he missed this opportunity, he would have to wait for the next one. Let's begin. Su Yan clenched his fists. After appearing in the red hall, the surrounding people were stunned. Su Yan's hands landed on the wall as if he was pushing the hall. Is he crazy? Kai Yang couldn't help but sneer. This kid is really crazy. Is he thinking of moving the entire scripture pavilion away? I don't know where this wild kid came from. The surrounding people also shook their heads. How important was the Big Dipper scripture pavilion? Even if the divine king came, it would be difficult to break through. Su Yan looked at the hall. This was a fool's dream. Xiao Yi and the others' expressions were also a little strange. What was Su Yan doing? Boom! It was also at this moment that a loud sound suddenly rang out in the Big Dipper scripture pavilion. The sound came too suddenly and was very loud, shaking the vast mountains and rivers. It was like a bolt from the blue, rolling down. Countless loud noises exploded one after another. The originally tranquil river and mountains were broken. The surrounding onlookers were flabbergasted. Under their watchful gazes, Su Yan pushed the red hall. How is this possible? Everyone in the surroundings sucked in a cold breath of air. The giants were all stupefied as their pupils dilated. How could something like this happen? The main hall could move? Someone immediately imitated Su Yan and moved up, wanting to move a green hall. However, just as he approached the green hall and started to move, the bronze hall exploded on its own. A terrifying aura spread out, shattering him into pieces. Hiss! The surrounding people were all at a loss for words. How could this be? Why was Su Yan fine? Why was he able to move the Red Palace so easily? At the same time that the Red Palace moved, there was an earth-shattering boom. It was as if it was moving a part of the starry sky. The movement that spread out was surprisingly large. Even Zhu Xing found it hard to believe. Upon closer inspection, he discovered that the Red Palace's trajectory seemed to contain a special pattern. It was as if taking a wrong step would result in being killed by the divine power contained within the Red Palace. The Red Palace was pushed to a corner by Su Yan, and Su Yan turned to the second palace. Everyone was dumbfounded. How could such a strange thing happen? They couldn't even figure out what Su Yan was doing. This was the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. How could Su Yan move the layout of this place? When the second hall was activated, the commotion it caused continued to soar. He pushed the Cyan Palace to the second position. Immediately after, Su Yan moved the third palace. This was the 5 elements layout. He had to set up the 5 elements formation platform to open the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion's most powerful inheritance ground. 3 palaces were moved in a row. This area emitted strands of suffocating aura. Some people were aghast as they sensed the powerful aura. It was as if the most powerful life, ancient star, was being moved. The Big Dipper is changing. Even the great figures in the outside world sensed this kind of aura. It was as if the most powerful life, ancient star, was awakening from its slumber, causing all the experts to pale. Moreover, this kind of unbearable aura was gradually becoming more and more astonishing. Let me take a look. and see what's going on. The sky was gloomy as a boundless giant beast figure appeared. Its magical body covered the sky, and as its giant silver eyes opened, the sun, moon, and stars were engraved in the galaxy. This pair of eyes was filled with a vast starry sky fluctuation. This was a great figure of the cosmic beast lineage. He solemnly took out an ancient horn. It was entirely white and intertwined with profound Tao marks. It was also filled with a world-shaking, ferocious aura. The Golden Dragon King was astonished. This is the cosmic beast lineage's cosmic horn. That's right. The giant beast figure transformed into a black-robed old man. He was Kong Ao, the guardian of the cosmic beast king. He was holding a horn. This was the natal horn of the cosmic beast lineage's ancestor. After its death, this horn turned into a supreme treasure. It was the cornerstone of the cosmic beast lineage. Boom! Kong Ao awakened the cosmic horn. This item automatically surged with chaotic radiance, which shocked Bamboo Moon. This should be the natal horn of the cosmic beast lineage's divine king. This horn was emitting a vast space-time aura. It surged with countless rays of light that shot towards the Big Dipper. It was moving towards the eruption point of the most powerful life ancient star. When the cosmic horn's power reached here, a giant light screen was reflected. The scene of the most powerful life ancient star's aura was displayed here. The big shots who were gathered here were all moved. They all saw Su Yin moving one hall after another, moving them to one position after another. Kong Ao was astonished. Could it be that he has seen through the layout here? Is he going to dig out the truth now? The expressions of the 7 hall masters fluctuated. If that was the case, then Su Yan's mastery of the occult sex techniques was very profound. His origin should not be simple. When Su Yin moved the last golden palace, the entire Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion was rumbling, undulating, and shaking. An incomparable aura was produced. The changes in the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion attracted the vast earth vein chi. The entire Big Dipper was faintly awakened, revealing the aura of the most powerful life ancient star. Oh my God! Shaolin was shocked. He said with a trembling voice, "The layout of the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion is related to the most powerful life ancient star." Who set it up? The great figures were silent. The occult sex ancestor had the means to spread the Tao on the most powerful life ancient star and inscribe a world-shaking force field. Could it be? The 7 hall masters were bursting with joy. They all thought of something. Since the Big Dipper Scripture had not appeared for countless years, could it be that the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion still had an inheritance palace? Open for me. When Su Yin moved the last golden palace, the 5 great palaces stood in 5 different directions. They were suffused with divine splendor and flowed with the incomparable power of the 5 elements. They seemed to have turned into 5 great Tao palaces, an ocean of divine energy that could overturn the sun, moon, and stars emerged. Boom! The firmament trembled and the stars in the sky were swaying. A corner of the Big Dipper rose and fell. The layout here was incomparably shocking. When the 5 great palaces returned to their positions, they drew upon the Big Dipper's life force. The 5 great palaces erupted on their own. Their auras merged into one, and it could be said that the 5 great stars were burning here. Look quickly. Everyone was alarmed. They saw a hazy primal chaos radiance at the center of the 5 great palaces. A primal chaos palace was faintly discernible. In a flash, the terrifying aura of the divine king awakened and tore apart the firmament. Shocking. Great child Yao Guang and the others were tongue-tied and couldn't utter a single word. Big Dipper Scripture. Han Tong was the first to react. He clenched his fists and almost roared out loud. He was so excited that his eyes turned red. The Big Dipper Scripture was definitely here. There was another primal chaos palace hidden within the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. The Big Dipper Scripture that the Big Dipper Scripture had been painstakingly searching for countless years. It had actually appeared just like that. A little cultivator had pushed the palace a few times and found the place where the Big Dipper scripture was hidden. The Big Dipper scripture is here. Su Yin, you actually helped me find it. This is truly the work of the heavens. Bamboo Moon was moved. She had always cultivated the Big Dipper scripture. Now that the primal chaos palace had appeared, the sound of scripture chanting could be heard from her body. Her eyes rippled with joy. This is bad, Star Lord. Shaowen's expression greatly changed. He transmitted his voice. This Su Yin opening the primal chaos palace is a good thing, but he doesn't have the ability to bring out the Big Dipper scripture. What should we do? Some of the elders of the Big Dipper scripture were pleasantly surprised, while others were worried, especially the 7 palace masters. They faced the sky and laughed. If they could obtain the complete version of the Big Dipper scripture, it would be hard to say who the Star Lord of the Big Dipper would be. Bamboo Moon slightly clenched her jade-like hands. The Big Dipper scripture had appeared, but whether or not she could obtain it was another matter. Fairy Bamboo Moon, if you don't bring Shueguan here now, when are you going to do it? The Shui family head smiled and said, everything can be discussed. What do you think, Star Lord? The elders of the Big Dipper scripture all went up to persuade Bamboo Moon. They wanted her to put down her status and think about the big picture. They wanted her to obtain the Big Dipper scripture first. It's too late. Bamboo Moon was graceful and noble. Her indifferent reply made the elders speechless. Indeed, it was too late to bring Shueguan here now. The Shui family head said disapprovingly, Fairy Bamboo Moon, even if an outsider obtained it, with Shueguan's battle prowess, wouldn't he be able to obtain it? Can you shut up? A cold glint flashed in Zhu Yu's eyes. She looked at Clan Lord Shui with fury in her eyes. The Shui family head's expression was ugly. He clenched his fists, but he didn't dare to say anything. Just wait and see. My son will be under you sooner or later. What, Star Lord? When the time comes, shouldn't you be obedient? The elders around didn't dare to say anything. Bamboo Moon was the Star Lord after all. They could see that she was angry. Su Yin, you've given me hope. It seems that the path of the mystic arts suits you very well. As for my Big Dipper immortal scripture, no one can take it away, not even the Divine King. Oomph. Zhu Yu's eyes were filled with strands of cold light. As the Star Lord of the Big Dipper constellation and in charge of a constellation, Zhu Yu is not a weak woman. The Big Dipper scripture was the strongest heavenly technique of the Big Dipper starfield. It was destined to be a disaster. Even the Divine King might die if he came. Rumble. The Chaos Hall flickered in and out of existence. It emitted a power that could split heaven and earth. It surged with a powerful life force and was surrounded by billions of strands of chaotic light. Chapter 223. What a terrifying great hall. Is this the place where the previous Big Dipper Star Lords sat in seclusion? This little cultivator called Su Yin is truly astonishing. If he can survive, his future will be extraordinary. He will definitely have a place among the great figures of the Big Dipper Star region. Everyone's hearts trembled. Even the scene projected by the cosmic edge was enough to move the senior elders of the Big Dipper lineage. This hall was too astonishing. It contained the aura of deities, just like the supreme palace of the Big Dipper lineage. A great figure spoke like this, causing the Shui family to be both shocked and furious. Wasn't this evaluation a bit too high? What ability did Su Yin have to become a great figure? Charge! Countless cultivators rushed toward the primal chaos Great Hall from all directions. This was a great opportunity that had not been encountered since ancient times. Who knew they might be able to obtain a world-shocking inheritance? However, before these people could even get close to the primal chaos Great Hall, the air currents that erupted from the primal chaos Great Hall fell down. It was like a primal chaos ocean, causing them to tremble. Their corporeal bodies cracked on their own, collapsing into a bloody mist. Those who wanted to rush up were horrified. Goosebumps rose all over their bodies. Don't act rashly. The primal chaos Great Hall has not calmed down yet. Someone warned solemnly. This primal chaos Great Hall was not stable now. It had been dormant for too long. Now that it had sunk down, even the void was collapsing. Not to mention them, Even great child Yao Guang and the others would only die if they rushed in. The entire Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion was hazy with primal chaos energy. The scene overflowed into the sky, and all kinds of strange phenomena were appearing. Now is not the time. Wait a bit before entering. When the time comes, listen to my orders. Zhu Xing and the others were all attracted by the opening of the Primal Chaos Great Hall. They had all forgotten about Su Yin, the one who opened it. The scene projected by the Primal Chaos Great Hall gradually became clearer. However, it was still unstable from time to time, and large void cracks would appear. Just as the surrounding people were paying attention nervously, a few figures suddenly rushed in. This scene shocked everyone in the surroundings. Su Yan's movements were too fast. He climbed up very decisively. Bastard, chase after him. Han Tong and the others' expressions changed. These people all rushed up. However, just as they approached the Primal Chaos Great Hall, the void collapsed by the Primal Chaos, producing large cracks. There were geniuses who cried out in fear. Their bodies were cracking apart, and the void was shattering. It wasn't just one. Many people had died. Some powerful cultivators were even killed by the aura emitted by the Primal Chaos Grand Hall. This place had turned into a purgatory on Earth, as cultivators were scared out of their wits. Don't barge in. If you're not strong enough, you'll be killed. Some people felt chills all over their bodies. Even a few well-known geniuses were refined to death. One could well imagine that this Primal Chaos Palace was not a place anyone could enter. However, there were some geniuses who managed to barge in. Their physical bodies were extremely strong, and they were able to withstand the pressure of the Primal Chaos main hall as they charged in. Only geniuses with powerful, fleshly bodies can enter. Even the legacy disciples of the Big Dipper clan would find it difficult to enter. Those who are not strong enough would only be courting death. The cultivators here discussed, extremely unwilling to accept this. However, the Primal Chaos Great Hall's pressure was too shocking. Even the monster race's strange beasts with powerful physical bodies found it difficult to charge in. The news spread like wildfire. It wouldn't take long for Ingjia, who had been wandering around the Big Dipper, to arrive. What should we do? Xiao Wen and the others were extremely anxious, like ants on a hot pan. Mizar Juzi and the others had all entered. Once they obtained the Big Dipper scripture, it would be strange if they could give it to Bamboo Moon. However, if the Big Dipper scripture fell into the hands of the geniuses from outside the domain, it would be the biggest problem. With the Ancestral Hall behind Zhu Xing, they would probably be very interested in the Big Dipper scripture. So much combat power is suppressed. The Starry Sky King beasts were shocked. Their life springs were suppressed, and even their fleshly bodies were suppressed. I've finally found the Big Dipper scripture. One after another, powerful figures walked into the Primal Chaos Grand Hall. Although their life springs were covered by the Primal Chaos Hall, and their fleshly bodies were suppressed, the Essence Blood in Mizar Juzi and the others were extremely terrifying. What a great fortune! Greed flashed in Zhu Xing's eyes as he looked down at the Primal Chaos Grand Hall. The Essence Blood in his body was boiling vigorously. It was like a blood-red, demonic mountain was burning here. The power of his fleshly body shocked some geniuses. These can't all be great superpowers, right? Young Dragon King was shocked. He looked at the Primal Chaos Grand Hall, which was filled with a suffocating aura. On the 9 levels of stone steps in the Grand Hall, there were many ancient scrolls. Each scroll was made of beast skin, and these beast skins were filled with a ferocious aura. They seemed to be made of the fur of divine beasts. A total of 8 scrolls were placed at the top of the stone steps. Of course, this was not the most attractive thing. On top of the 8 scrolls, there was a treasure book that was covered in a hazy, chaotic light. It was like a concentrated sea of stars, bright and dazzling. The Big Dipper scripture. Yao Guang Juzi, Mizar Juzi, and Han Tong all rushed in. Their eyes were filled with greed. As long as they could obtain the Big Dipper scripture, they would be qualified to become the Lord of Big Dipper. This was a top-notch heaven art, and its value was immeasurable. It could be cultivated to the pinnacle. I feel an immortal aura. Could this be an immortal scripture? Zhu Xing was shocked. The treasure book that was covered in a hazy, chaotic aura emitted an immortal aura and a vast divine might. This was a power that could suppress the past, present, and future. It was a power that could intimidate the universe. It was a power that could make the heavens tremble. Han Tong instantly recognized that this was the Big Dipper scripture. The Big Dipper starfield was a superpower in the past, ranked among the 10 strongest starfields. The Big Dipper scripture was an immortal scripture, and its value was immeasurable, a scripture that even almighty beings would bow down to. Everyone's eyes were red with envy. However, this was the Big Dipper scripture. Once they obtained it, it was the same as becoming enemies with the entire Big Dipper lineage. Su Yin was silent. He was thinking, how strong was the immortal scripture? The cultivation world recognized the strongest scripture as the immortal scripture. This scripture could be counted on one's fingers. Wu Heng's eyes were fixed on an ancient animal skin scroll. He could vaguely sense a vast martial aura that was about to shake the universe. He was shocked. It was rumored that a supreme divine ability of the Wu clan had fallen into the hands of the Big Dipper starfield. Could this rumor be true? The divine ability was engraved on the beast skin scroll. The 8 great scrolls were all made from the skin of divine beasts. They could withstand the passage of time without being extinguished. Rumble. Zhu Xing was the first to rush forward. His aura was monstrous. His entire body was like a bloody devil mountain. The blood essence in his body surged and roared. In a flash, he swooped down and grabbed one of the scrolls. Charge! Young Dragon King roared. Those who could reach this place were not weak. They all rushed forward to take away these scrolls. For a moment, the entire Primal Chaos Hall was shrouded in killing aura. Yingjie recovered to the extreme. The strength of their corporeal bodies erupted. They were like a group of dragons rushing towards the beast skin scrolls. Rumble! When these people rushed towards the beast skin scrolls, the 8 great beast skin scrolls awakened one after another. Each scroll was suffused with a heaven-piercing martial aura. They awakened on their own. It was as if 8 experts had erupted from their slumber. For a moment, the Primal Chaos Hall was rumbling. One after another, large hands grabbing at the beast skin scrolls were shattered by the aura of the beast skin scrolls. Without a doubt, it was not easy to obtain these beast skin scrolls. One needed to be extremely powerful. They even found it difficult to use powerful weapons. They would be suppressed by the Primal Chaos Hall. Not good. Zhu Xing is going to snatch one of the scrolls. Xiaoya's expression changed when he saw Zhu Xing grab a beast skin scroll. His entire body surged with divine light. He suddenly exerted force in his palm to grab the beast skin scroll. Rumble! It was also at this moment that the entire Primal Chaos Hall rumbled. The beast skin scroll in Zhu Xing's hand suddenly became extremely terrifying. It vibrated with boundless killing aura. Zhu Xing tried his best to resist, but it was very difficult. He was directly sent flying. Zhu Xing staggered back. He was coughing up blood, and his expression was very ugly. The beast skin scroll did not approve of him. It resisted on its own and sent him flying. I don't believe I can't get one out of these 8 scrolls. Zhu Xing smiled eerily. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Then his eyes were full of cold light. He saw Wu Heng also grabbing a beast skin scroll. His entire body erupted to the extreme. It was as if a divine door was slowly opening, emitting a vigorous martial aura. Buzz! The beast skin scroll in Wu Heng's hand lit up. It was resplendent and blazing. The beast skin scroll spewed out a vast martial aura. Moreover, a shadow appeared and formed a fist imprint. This fist imprint emitted a heaven-shattering might. This is my Wu family's supreme art that has been lost for countless years, the sky-shattering fist. Wu Heng was bursting with joy. Just as he was thinking of snatching the beast skin scroll away, a palm shot out from behind him. It was suffused with bloody light and seemed to be able to crush the void. It chopped towards Wu Heng's back. Bastard! Zhu Xing, you dare to block me. Wu Heng was enraged. He had no choice but to give up on the sky-shattering fist. He turned around and attacked Zhu Xing's palm. When they collided, the two extraterrestrial geniuses trembled. It was difficult to determine the winner. Kiki, Zhu Xing said coldly. Wu Heng, there are only 8 scrolls. If you take one, how do you expect us to divide it? There were a total of 30 cultivators in the Primal Chaos Hall. Each of them had a strong physical body. However, there were only 8 beast skin scrolls. Ridiculous. Whoever obtains the beast skin scroll's approval can take away the divine ability. Wu Heng's face was gloomy. This was the Wu family supreme art that had been lost for countless years. He had to bring it back to the family. Kiki, Zhu Xing's aura was awe-inspiring. His body was covered in bloody light. His cruel eyes scanned the surroundings. He said coldly, I think those who don't have enough battle strength, get out of here. When these words were heard, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They were furious. Zhu Xing was just an extraterrestrial. This was the Big Dipper starfield. He was too arrogant. Why isn't anyone moving? Zhu Xing laughed eerily. Do you need me to ask you to leave? Are there only 8 scrolls? Han Tong suddenly said, Su Yin, you're the first to run in. I asked you how many scrolls you took. It should be 10. Han Tong's words caused the surrounding murderous aura to fluctuate. What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Ye's eyes widened in anger. His words were equivalent to pushing Su Yin to his death. I think we should open up the spatial treasure and let the experts here check it. Yao Guang stared at Su Yin and said coldly. Su Yin looked coldly at Han Tong and Yao Guang. He said angrily, Are you worthy of being the Big Dipper bloodline? If it wasn't for me, would you be able to enter? Now you are targeting me. You are really shameless. That's right. Yao Guang rushed over. His expression was cold, and he was very confident. He laughed angrily. I really have to thank you. As thanks, I will leave your corpse intact and let you die a quick death. Do you think I'm afraid of you here? Get over here and accept your death. Su Yin waved at him. Bastard, I will kill you. Chapter 2:24. Yao Guang had a divine physique after all. Although his physical body wasn't too strong, he was still a genius of his generation, and his combat strength was stunning. He was the leader of planet Yao Guang's younger generation. Although his life spring was suppressed, Yao Guang's physical body was also super strong. How could ordinary people be his match? As for Su Yin, although he was a mystical arts cultivator and had once created an impressive combat strength, everyone knew that he relied on the power of Marsh City's dragon vein and not his own combat strength. Now that Su Yin was recruiting Yao Guang, they were all stunned. Could it be that Su Yin still had some trump cards? But in this Chaos Hall, he shouldn't be able to use the mystical arts cultivator's techniques. Boom! The sky was drowned out. This was the Yao Guang Hall's Yao Guang Saint art. Light erupted like a burning purple sun. The rays of light were similar to the Army Destroyer art. Thousands of rays of divine light rushed over and drowned out the sky, suppressing Su Yin. No matter how strong Su Yin is, he can't block Yao Guang. He can't display the power of a mystical arts cultivator here. That's right. Although his physical body is strong and he has mastered shrinking, the space in the Primal Chaos Great Hall is too small. He is unable to widen the distance between him and Yao Guang. Once they engage in close combat, Su Yin will definitely die. While some geniuses were discussing, Li Qing was shocked. She suddenly discovered that under the Yao Guang Saint art, a figure was burning. In an instant, it was extremely bright, as if a golden sun was burning here. It was filled with a shocking power. Boom! Su Yan's palm formed into a fist and smashed down. With a shocking strength, it blasted away the divine light in the sky. Su Yin stood up. His entire body was flowing with shocking strength. Su Yan's body was a bright golden color. It was like an indestructible golden body. It emitted layers of blood essence and shook the void. How is this possible? Is he still Su Yin? His aura is completely different. He's like a fighting god. The surrounding people's expressions changed, as if they had seen the wrong person. At this moment, Su Yan's aura was powerful. It was like a true dragon had soared into the sky. His limbs and bones flowed with shocking divine energy. He rushed up and faced Yao Guang. Bang! The two energy fields collided. Buzz and aura. Su Yan's strength whizzed out and slashed Great Sun Yao Guang's body. His protective divine light was shattered, and his entire body was forced to retreat because he could not withstand Su Yan's explosive strength. Xiao Yi looked at Su Yan in shock. How could his body be so strong? Yao Guang's life spring was suppressed, and his battle strength was reduced by half. But his body was not something a small cultivator could shake. Su Yan, your physical body cultivation is not bad. Let me give you some pointers on your martial arts. Han Tong's face was cold. He strode forward and wanted to suppress Su Yan. A cold glint shot out from Su Yan's eyes and landed on Han Tong. He sneered, "Although you're a little old, this martial uncle would like to give you some pointers to see if your martial arts have improved. Come, let this martial uncle experience it." "Su Yan, you still dare to talk to me like that? If I don't break all your bones, I'm not Han Tong." Han Tong's face was ferocious. He hated it when people said that he was old and did not belong to the same generation as Yao Guang. "You're nothing," Su Yan replied. "I'll kill you, you evil creature." Han Tong's hair was about to explode. He was extremely angry. His entire body exuded a murderous aura as he swooped down and charged towards Su Yan. At this moment, the entire hall was filled with a great battle. Ingjia rushed toward the beast hide scroll. They all wanted to obtain the secret technique inside. Boom! Killing intent surged in the hall. Everyone was a cultivator with a strong physical body. None of them wanted to give in. They fought for the beast hide scroll with all their might. "Trash! Do you only know how to dodge?" Han Tong was furious. Su Yan's speed was very strange. He moved through the void, leaving behind afterimages that Han Tong destroyed. But Su Yan had already moved to the other side. "This martial uncle will train your reflexes," Su Yan said seriously, but he was very anxious in his heart. Because Su Yan and the rest were the first to step into the Chaos Hall, Xiao Wen and the rest were shocked by Xing Jingfu. Although she was Bamboo Moon's disciple, Xing Jingfu had always kept a low profile. But they did not expect Xing Jingfu to have also cultivated the Big Dipper scripture. When they just entered, Xing Jingfu was sucked into the Chaos Treasure Book. If nothing went wrong, Xing Jingfu should be able to obtain the inheritance. "Bastard, when I catch you, the first thing I'll do is to tear your mouth apart." Han Tong could not take it anymore. Calling him martial nephew made him roar in exasperation. He rushed forward and raised his hand. The aura of a great sacred art surged. It was as if he was going to pluck the stars in the sky. Star plucking hand. Su Yan's eyes widened. This palm was extremely domineering. It sealed the void and contained the power to pluck the stars in the universe. It slashed towards Su Yan. This palm was ferocious and domineering. It used the power to suppress the sky. When it came down, the void trembled. True Dragon Secret Technique. Han Tong's expression changed drastically. Su Yan's aura was even stronger. His entire body was filled with the aura of a true dragon. It was as if he had turned into a true dragon that looked down on the sky. His entire body flowed with a domineering aura. Rumble! Su Yan's aura was shocking. He rushed forward angrily. His body was like a true dragon. Terrifying light intertwined and collided. For a moment, divine light sputtered. It was dazzling. "What is Su Yan? You really surprised me. You even have the true dragon's secret technique." Han Tong's eyes were filled with greed. He rushed forward. After all, he was a Law Phase realm cultivator. The divine force in his body was stronger than Su Yan's. He tried his best to suppress Su Yan's aura. Once again, he waved the star-plucking hand and attacked him. Bang, bang, bang. They fought in close combat. Fists and palms intertwined and burst out with deafening vibrations. The entire Primal Chaos Hall was filled with battles. Everyone wanted the Beast Hide Scroll. However, no one wanted to give it up. Han Tong's expression became uglier. The divine force in his body was stronger than Su Yan's. However, Su Yan's body was too tough. It was difficult for him to break through. Su Yan was in one with his natal cauldron. He stood in his strongest state and faced Han Tong's attacks. Damn it! Mizar Juzi suddenly let out an angry roar. It attracted the attention of the surrounding people. They realized that Mizar Juzi had snatched a beast-hide scroll. However, the mystique recorded in it was the star-plucking hand. He had already mastered this mystique. Bastard! Mizar Juzi was furious. His eyes were red. It was fine if it was the star-plucking hand. However, it was difficult for him to touch the primal chaos treasure book. Tai Baokai laughed sinisterly. They were all conserving their strength. They knew that there was a big battle waiting for them. Rumble! Suddenly, the entire primal chaos hall shook. Ingjia, who were fighting, were shocked. They all looked at the primal chaos treasure book. It was like an immortal scripture was being recited. It was surrounded by chaotic light and had an ancient aura. Suddenly, a girl in black walked out of the chaos. She was petite and exquisite. The atmosphere in the hall was as strange as it could get. Mizar Juzi and the rest could not touch the primal chaos treasure book. However, Xing Jingfu walked out of it. What did she get? Stop her! Han Tong, who was fighting with Su Yin, was overjoyed. Xing Jingfu might have gotten the scripture recorded in the primal chaos treasure book. In an instant, Mizar Juzi and the rest unleashed all kinds of mystiques and attacked Xing Jingfu's direction. Wong. However, the layers of the void distorted. A shadow as fast as lightning left behind dozens of afterimages. It rushed over and took Xing Jingfu away. The moment it appeared again, the void collapsed. Su Yan, stop. Stop right there. Yao Guang Juzi's face was pale. They wanted the Big Dipper scripture, but they did not want Bamboo Moon to have it. Although they did not know if Xing Jingfu had gotten the Big Dipper scripture, they had to be careful. When Su Yan reached the outside of the palace, Xing Jingfu's telepathic message calmed him down completely. Let's go. Su Yan stood at the entrance of the Primal Chaos Hall, looking at Mizar Juzi and the rest. Hearing that, Xing Jingfu was stunned. She looked at Su Yan in shock. He was not going to leave? No one can leave. Han Tong and the rest rushed over angrily. They released the divine power in their bodies without holding back. They wanted to stop Xing Jingfu. Let's go. The big picture is more important. Don't worry. They can't do anything to me. Su Yan's hair was messy, and his clothes were flapping. He knew very well that it would be difficult to send Xing Jingfu out of the hall. Once she was stopped, it would be difficult to fight his way out. It was better to stop them here. Take care. Come back alive. Xing Jingfu gritted her teeth. Her eyes were red as she turned around and flew out of the Primal Chaos Hall. Be *starred, kill him. We can't let Xing Jingfu go back outside. Do it now. Mizar Juzi and the rest rushed over. Their eyes were bleeding. One after another, they were enraged. They were filled with their strongest combat strength, pulling a huge storm. Su Yan stood at the entrance with a cold expression. This scene caused the surrounding people to be in a daze. Su Yan had gone mad. No matter how strong he was, he could not stop Han Tong, Mizar Juzi, and Alcade Juzi. Those were three young powerhouses. Come on. Su Yan's expression was cold. His body was completely unsealed. His entire flesh shell was spewing blood essence that contained the aura of a true dragon. When he breathed, there was a roar in the surroundings. Most importantly, there was a blurry light in his body. The moment it circled around his body, it gave Su Yan a powerful charm. He has touched the Force rule. Could he be a Big Dipper prodigy? Chapter 225. Countless divine radiants were torn apart. The violent storm of killing light was now completely suppressed. This was the might of a true dragon, powerful and unparalleled. Su Yan's body circulated the true dragon lineage's great mystique, and his entire body glowed. Accompanied by the blurry Force law domain, his body seemed to have transformed into a huge martial Dao heavenly gate, emitting a ferocious light. Rumble! The entire area was trembling. Layers of energy storms were torn apart. However, the three young experts were too shocking. The strength of their physical bodies overturned the seas and rivers as they surged forward. They wanted to turn Su Yan into ashes in a single exchange. Wong. Some people could faintly see that Su Yan's natal cauldron in his life spring was glowing, and it spewed out the power of thousands of galaxies, penetrating Su Yan's body. Ah! Su Yan looked up to the sky and let out a long roar. Behind him, a vague shadow appeared. It was as if a huge true dragon Dharma idol had appeared. It spread out a shocking energy source and swooped down to meet the three powerhouses. Su Yan is definitely a Big Dipper prodigy, definitely. I think so too. His physical body is so terrifying. Who else could it be but him? If he isn't a Big Dipper prodigy, could it be that the Big Dipper lineage is blessed with two heaven-defying disciples? Some people were screaming and their hearts were trembling. Some people even realized that his physical body had touched the Dharma idol domain. This was the path of the body cultivator lineage, and it was natural for him to step into the Dharma idol domain. In the past, Wu Heng had encountered some peerless geniuses who specialized in physical body cultivation. They were extremely powerful, and their blood was like the sea, and their roars shook the starry skies. He never expected to meet Ingjia here in the Big Dipper constellation. Big Dipper prodigy, you must die too. Hand over your life. Mizar Juzi and the others were enraged, and they no longer cared about Su Yan's origins. If this person was not eliminated, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. With Xing Jingfu's current speed, it was impossible for her to leave the Big Dipper. The people outside did not know what had happened in the Primal Chaos Hall, nor did they know that Xing Jingfu had obtained an unknown inheritance. Especially when Xing Jingfu came out. She was very quick-witted and forced out a mouthful of heartblood. She claimed that she had been beaten out. She said that his corporeal body was too weak and that he could not compete with Zhu Xing and the others. Fairy Beidou, your disciple actually came out. Looks like his luck isn't too good. The head of the Shui family laughed. It said that Xing Jingfu has the rare star ocean physique. Her magic power is as vast as the sea, so her physique is definitely inferior. I wonder who has the Big Dipper scripture. Even Xing Jingfu has come out. I reckon that Su Yan's situation is not good. Palace Master Yao Guang also asked, Star Master, do you know who his master is? You should let his master be mentally prepared. Bamboo Moon remained silent as she stared at the image projected by the Cosmos corner. Bang bang. The hall was filled with the sound of waves. Under the three giants' frenzied attacks, it was as if three ancient stars were burning. They used all their strength to attack. They did not believe that Su Yan was so heaven-defying that he could compete with the three of them. It wasn't just the three of them. There were also cultivators with powerful corporeal bodies that rushed over. There were a total of 6 cultivators with powerful corporeal bodies. Eldest senior brother, come over and fight. I, Xiao Yi, will experience your skills. Xiao Yi knew that he was not as good as Han Tong, but he was in his strongest state. No matter what, he had to fight for time. He had to fight for time for Xing Jingfu to deliver the inheritance. I will play with you. The three of you, hurry up and come over. Tai Baokai took out a shiny golden bamboo and attacked the 3 cultivators with powerful auras. Great Child Kai Yang and Great Child Yao Wan's corporeal bodies were extremely strong. They rushed forward, and their bodies rippled with a ferocious aura that could tear apart the sky and split the sea. They attacked Su Yan. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The battle here was very intense. Su Yan was facing the 2 giants alone. His body was surrounded by the aura of a true dragon. His bare hands were enough to split the sky. The 2 giants wanted to kill their way out. Every move was fatal. Their bodies were also very strong. At that moment, Kaiyang Juzi was like the sun. Kaiyang Juzi was like a majestic star. The 2 giants rushed over angrily. Every move they made was filled with godly power. Dang dang. The battle was intense. Su Yan's aura was majestic. He used the True Dragon Secret technique to kill the 2 giants. The godly power in his body was much weaker. However, Su Yan's body was too strong. It was like a piece of divine metal that had been tempered thousands of times. There was nothing it could not break. Let me see how strong you are. Kaiyang Juzi's palm turned into a huge palm print. He attacked again and again. Every attack was filled with the image of the sun. The blood in his body was boiling. He attacked until Su Yan's hands were numb. He almost lost his balance. Suppress. Yao Guang Juzi shouted coldly. A huge star chart appeared and fell from the sky. It pressed down on Su Yan. It was suffocating. Su Yan's eyes were wide open. His entire body was glowing like a burning furnace. Su Yan withstood the shocking pressure. He could not take half a step back. He also could not use shrinking earth. Otherwise, they would definitely rush out. Rumble. Su Yan's body emitted a dazzling light. It was like a true dragon emerging from the sea. It was rippling with energy. His fist was like a dragon's fist. It was bright and dazzling. In an instant, it smashed the star that was flying down. At the same time, his spine twisted like a true dragon. His entire body was filled with godly light. He used all his strength to attack the two giants. PFFF. Just when Su Yan's aura was at its strongest state, and he was trying his best to recover. A cultivator who had just rushed into the Primal Chaos main hall was beaten out by Li before he could see clearly. He fell under the Primal Chaos main hall, causing the surrounding onlookers to be dumbfounded. What's going on? These people were all stunned. They hurried over to ask, but he could not explain clearly. As soon as he stepped into the main hall, he saw a raging dragon awakening. The essence blood that permeated the air was too vigorous. His body almost split open. Hiss! The surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be that the young Dragon King was going crazy? Did he obtain the true dragon bloodline's secret technique? Now the young Dragon King and the Starry Sky Beast King were fighting. They had found a great divine ability of the demon race. Neither side was willing to give way. Su Yan's body is too terrifying. Although he is injured, Su Yan's realm is much lower than theirs. I have to say that the current Su Yan is really too strong. The main thing is that his body is terrifying. If he was outside, he would not be able to do it. Mizar Juzi and the others' bodies are also partially suppressed. That's right. If Su Yan can really grow in the future, it will be too terrifying. The onlookers saw that he was getting braver as he fought. His aura was climbing steadily. The aura of the true dragon covered his limbs and bones. It pierced through the sky. Its power was incomparably tyrannical. Bastard! The two Juzi were about to go crazy. They could not rush out. Su Yan stood there like a big furnace. There were many bloodstains on his body, but this kind of injury was not enough to stop Su Yan. You trash. Do you think you can do anything? I will destroy you. Suddenly, a blood-red hand stretched over. Zhu Xing had long wanted to kill Su Yan. Now, he also suspected that Su Yan was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen. If it was not because of the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen, he would not have lost so much face. This palm was boundless and contained the power of the Flipping Sky Seal. It directly slashed over, faintly cracking the void. It suppressed Su Yan. Suppress him. Kaiyang Juzi and Yao Guang Juzi were pleasantly surprised. They rushed forward in a spurt of energy. The essence blood in the two Juzi's body was fully awakened. They circulated the power of their great divine arts and overturned Su Yan. For a moment, a terrifying aura rippled. The energy ripples were suffocating. Another cultivator rushed in from outside. Facing such a lineup, his scalp went numb. He hugged his head and ran down, saying in disbelief, I saw the two Juzi and Zhu Xing attacking a person. This person is blocking the door of the hall. What? There's such a thing? The place was in an uproar. They want to know what was going on. The Chaos Hall had been open for half a day. Could it be that the fight inside had not ended? Brother Su Yan, if you can't do it, then retreat. Xiao Ye's eyes were red. He had been beaten until his flesh was lacerated. He desperately held Han Tong back, not allowing him to get close to the battlefield. Tai Baocai's body was strong, but the opportunities he obtained in the Big Dipper Tower were not as shocking as Su Yan's. He could barely hold back 3 cultivators with strong bodies. Whoosh! Like a super strong storm, it surged and split the sky. It was about to swallow Su Yan whole. Clang! Su Yan's body trembled. His entire body was on the verge of shattering. It let out a vibrating sound like a weapon. It's not time yet. Su Yan's aura surged into the void as he let out an indignant roar. But the pressure he was facing was too shocking. In this chaos hall, Zhu Xing's body was the most terrifying. The divine power in his body was very vigorous. It had already surpassed Mizar Juzi and the rest by a lot. I can't leave yet. Su Yan's eyes narrowed as he activated his most powerful True Dragon secret technique to block the divine power storm that was coming at him furiously. However, no matter how strong he was, it was useless. This time, the power of their attacks was too shocking. Crack! Su Yan's body trembled. His bones were cracking. Blood spurted out of his pores. It was as if he was about to burst. This was destruction. Su Yan seemed to see his body being destroyed. It was as if he saw the universe collapsing and his life being cut off. In this desperate situation, Su Yan's eyes widened. His bloodstained body was suddenly intertwined with dazzling nomological light. The power of the soul. Suddenly, he recalled the blacksmith's words. Su Yan's heart thumped loudly. It was as if it had turned into a heavenly drum. It rumbled and his heartbeat was loud. And his heartbeat was getting faster and faster. The divine sound it emitted was even more deafening. Su Yan's blood boiled. It went through his head. He felt a kind of power, a kind of energy that surged into the sky. This was the energy that belonged to the human body. It was also the source of blood. Boom! The blurry energy in Su Yan's body suddenly blazed. It was like a beam of light that pierced through the sky. This energy surged into the sky and supported Su Yan. Chapter 226. The true dragon soared into the sky, creating a magnificent scene. It was as if a true dragon was born in the Chaos Hall. It was hazy and terrifying, exuding a powerful aura. When it raised its head and roared, it overturned the seas and rivers. Boom! Wisps of energy rushed out of Su Yan's body and appeared behind Su Yan. In an instant, the true dragon roared with boundless energy. The three energy storms collapsed completely, and even the true dragon's energy rushed over. Poof! Mizar Juzi and Alcade Juzi trembled and retreated. The true dragon's energy was too domineering, causing them to cough up blood. They suffered internal injuries and almost fell to the ground. The surrounding people looked as if they had seen a ghost. The energy just now turned the situation around and even injured the two Juzi. Is Su Yan really a Big Dipper prodigy? Their hearts were filled with disbelief. They looked at the figures standing at the entrance of the Chaos Hall with inexplicable respect. At this moment, Su Yan's aura was majestic, piercing through the sky, especially his physical body. It was as if it had turned into a giant door, spewing out an aura that was as deep as the sea. Every move he made was earth-shattering. What a strong physical body. This Su Yan is really amazing. Wu Hong was shocked. This was the rules of force. Su Yan had embarked on the path of physical cultivation. With his physical body as a foundation, as long as he had enough foundation, he could quickly reach the Dharma plane. We can't let him leave alive. Han Tong rushed over, his eyes filled with cold, murderous intent. His body surged with blood as he raised his palm and slashed at Su Yan. Mizar Juzi and Alcade Juzi also rushed over angrily. When the three Juzi joined forces, it was as if 3 stars in the universe were burning. They used their strongest combat power to attack Su Yan. Come! Su Yan's hair danced in the wind. He laughed loudly and was in high spirits. The blood in his body surged and pierced through the sky. Every move he made was filled with the power to split mountains and seas. This was a shocking manifestation. Once he mastered the rules of force, his strength was limitless. He punched again and again. Every punch had the appearance of a true dragon, roaring and shaking the void. Bang! Su Yan's fighting strength was domineering and ferocious. Facing the 3 giants, his fighting spirit became increasingly strong. It was as if he was a god of war who could swallow the starry sky. He stood at the door and continuously exploded. Roar! The true dragon soared into the sky, and the aura of great divine abilities appeared one after another. This was an incomparable display of power. A huge dragon totem appeared in the void, exuding a suppressive might. It forcibly blocked the attacks of the three great experts. This is the true dragon's secret technique. Su Yan has a true dragon secret art, and it's a great ability at that. His defense here is too frightening, stopping the three giants. Some of the geniuses sighed in admiration. Su Yan's aura pierced through the vast sky, using the laws to construct the power of the dragon totem divine ability. This true dragon seemed to have come back to life, continuously erupting with the aura of a true dragon. The three giants were about to spit out blood. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't move him. Su Yan's physical body was too tough. Moreover, he had used a great divine ability to seal the door of the hall. A wave of chi was running through his body. This was the power of the law of force. He had mobilized the power contained in the space of the primal chaos hall. Trash, I'll kill you. Zhu Xing couldn't bear it anymore and gave up on targeting Wu Hong. He even gave up on the secret arts of the entire hall. The main reason was that he couldn't take any of them away. These secret arts were sealed, and they belonged to the Big Dipper lineage. No one could take them away, especially the Primal Chaos Treasure Book. It was simply wishful thinking. Wu Hong laughed loudly and took away the Wu clan's great divine ability. However, he was also shifted out of the Primal Chaos Hall. Boom! The heaven and earth were overturned, and even the void was about to be turned upside down. Zhu Xing charged over furiously. His entire body was like a bloody demonic mountain, gushing with blazing light. He immediately used the Ancestral Hall's great divine ability, the Flipping Sky Seal. The instant this power was released, even the true dragon totem began to distort and was about to be flipped over. Without a doubt, Zhu Xing was too powerful. The essence blood in his body was vigorous, and his divine power was astonishing. The Flipping Sky Seal that he evolved pressed down, and it seemed like it was about to collapse the true dragon totem. This was truly shocking. At this moment, the three giants charged over furiously. They worked together with Su Yan to kill Zhu Xing. The surrounding people were stunned. This was too shameless. For experts were ganging up on Su Yan. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Su Yan's eyes were filled with killing intent. He stomped on the ground, and his chi pierced through the sky. When the law of force was activated, Su Yan's entire body surged with blurry stars. This was the eruption of the power of the Big Dipper fist. Kill! Su Yan shouted angrily. He formed a fist seal and attacked. Alcade, Mizar, Alioth, Migrez, and Fekta. The five great fist techniques were awakened in an instant, emerging from Su Yan's body. His entire body burst out with monstrous starlight, and a vast starry sky chart appeared behind him. Su Yan knew that his body's chi blood was not enough to unleash the power of the true dragon's secret technique. However, the Big Dipper fist was different. The five great fist techniques erupted in his fury, and the moment they surged out, they merged into one. Dong! The entire Chaos Hall trembled. This was an extremely powerful attack. Su Yan had erupted with the most powerful source of power, bombarding the oncoming terrifying divine power. The aftermath of this collision caused chills to run down one's spine. Cracks appeared in the void, and the area turned into a huge black hole with blood sputtering out. You can't block it. It's about time. Don't get hurt. Hurry up and leave. Tai Baokai urged Su Yan to retreat quickly. This face-to-face attack had caused Su Yan's skin to split open and blood to spurt out of his pores. There were fist and palm prints on his body, and a piercing pain assaulted his mind. Su Yan's face was resolute, and his willpower was tenacious. He stood at the door like a cold-blooded demon, looking down at the three of them. This scene caused Mizar Juzi and the rest to fall silent. Su Yan had actually endured it. How terrifying was his body? Let's see how many times you can take it. The three young experts were enraged. They once again joined forces to attack. 3 layers of energy storms, one after another. Layers of blood essence overflowed into the sky, shattering the sky as they charged towards Su Yin. Su Yin was unfazed. He once again used the Big Dipper fist, the strongest form of the Big Dipper fist. The 5 great fists merged into one, and it was as if the stars in the universe had materialized here. Wisps of terrifying aura gushed out. Kacha! Su Yin took out a Dharma-characteristic secret treasure to defend himself. However, this secret treasure also exploded. Su Yin felt as if he had been struck by lightning, and his entire body was about to fall apart. This kind of energy attack was too difficult to block, and it caused great damage to his body. Bastard, let's kill him in one go. When they saw Su Yin stand up again, the 3 experts were enraged. In an instant, they rushed over and unleashed 3 great mystiques, bombarding Su Yin. This is the feeling. When Su Yin unleashed the Big Dipper fist once again, his body was like an ancient universe revolving. The Primordial Sutra automatically recited. His limbs and bones vibrated with the light of blood essence. The 3 great furnaces merged into one, and the light of the law of force appeared. It made Su Yan's body look like a pillar that could support the heavens. The Primal Chaos Great Hall faintly rumbled as the Primal Chaos Treasure Book flipped open page after page. As Su Yan unleashed the Big Dipper fist once again, Su Yan's chi, which was the energy of the law of force, merged into one with the entire Chaos Hall. At this moment, Su Yan seemed to have disappeared and merged into one with the entire universe. It should be said that he merged into one with the Big Dipper. It was rumored that in order to unleash the true power of the Big Dipper fist, one had to stand on the Big Dipper and borrow the power of the strongest ancient star to evolve the Big Dipper fist into a mystique domain. Su Yin sensed that strands of terrifying power were surging. This was the power of the Big Dipper, and it was all dependent on the Chaos Hall. If there was no Chaos Hall, Su Yin wouldn't be able to use the Chaos Hall to observe the pulse of the Big Dipper. Since the Big Dipper Sutra and the Big Dipper fist were hidden here, it meant that it was very likely the hall of the Big Dipper's ancestor. It was the best place to cultivate the Big Dipper fist. Of course, Su Yin couldn't sense the pulse of the entire Big Dipper. Perhaps only by comprehending the great Tao of force could he sense how majestic the pulse of the Big Dipper was. Su Yin was also baptized by the ancestral veins of the Big Dipper in the Big Dipper Pagoda. Therefore, he was more sensitive to such fluctuations. Now, Su Yin was observing the majesty of the Big Dipper in the Chaos Hall. It was as if he saw the source of the Big Dipper's power. At this moment, Su Yan's body seemed to have transformed into a universe. This was very similar to the beginning sutra's description of the body as the universe. Boom! Under the incredulous gazes of the surrounding people, Su Yin seemed to have transformed into a god of war as he pushed one star after another across the universe. It was as if he was pushing an ancient star field across. His body was hazy with strands of terrifying light beams. This seemed to be the power of the Big Dipper. Merak! It was as if a loud roar was transmitted from the universe. This was Su Yan's voice exploding, shaking the entire Chaos Hall. The original 5 celestial bodies had now condensed to 6 celestial body, the Merak celestial body. Su Yin had condensed 6 of the Big Dipper's 7 stars. Although he hadn't cultivated the 7th star, the fusion of 6 stars was already abnormal enough. This was a former heavenly ability, the Big Dipper Fist. When combined, it could transform into the Big Dipper Fist. Rumble! Su Yan's aura swallowed the heavens and was peerlessly terrifying. The fusion of 6 stars was completely different from the might recorded in the ancient records of the Big Dipper lineage. At this moment, the celestial body was faintly twined with strands of heavenly might. This was an invincible fist technique, the aura of the heavens. Tai Baokai was shocked. This was the aura of the Big Dipper fist. Su Yin had touched upon the essence of the Big Dipper fist. It was very likely that the long-lost Big Dipper fist would evolve and erupt with its former glory. Kill! Su Yin roared. It was as if he had transformed into the divine king of the heavens. He was too powerful. He stood in the chaos hall, domineering and powerful as he brandished his fists. The entire chaos hall rose and fell along with him. Boom! The ancient life of the Big Dipper was stirred up by Su Yin. A terrifying power gushed out along with him, terrifying the heavens. Boom! This fist blasted out, bringing with it a thunderous sound from the nine heavens, shattering the universe. Chapter 227. Kacha. The void cracked and was dyed red with blood. The divine power released by this punch swept across the space like a tidal wave, causing the Chaos Hall to rumble violently. A terrifying aura rippled. Under the stunned gaze of Little Dragon King and the rest, Mizar Juzi and the other Sky Prides were sent flying one after another. It was as if they had been struck by lightning. Blood flowed from their bodies, and their eyes were filled with fear. Zhu Xing also staggered backward. There was a crack on his palm. He was aghast. He had just activated the Flipping Sky Seal, but Su Yin had actually shattered the Flipping Sky Seal with the Big Dipper's Big Dipper Fist. What did this mean? Could it be that the long-lost Big Dipper Fist was about to reappear in the world? But Zhu Xing didn't believe it. Perhaps the Big Dipper was really stronger than the Flipping Sky Seal. What kind of energy did Su Yin borrow just now? Could it be that he used a secret technique from the Mystic Sect? These people felt their scalps go numb. It was obvious that the energy didn't belong to Su Yin. It was more like the divine power that Su Yin had borrowed out of thin air. Big Dipper Fist. Could it be that the real Big Dipper Fist has appeared? Tai Baokai was tongue-tied. If it was really the Big Dipper Fist, it wasn't surprising that Su Yin could defeat strong opponents. The Big Dipper Fist was worthy of being called an invincible secret technique. Once mastered, one would be able to look down on everyone in the same realm. Perhaps when Su Yin was strong enough, the Big Dipper Fist power could be fully restored. It would definitely be able to kill all the gods and demons in the world. Bam! However, Su Yin's fist was also cracked. The bones in his entire arm were vibrating and making clanging sounds. His injuries were also very serious. His entire body was covered in blood. Su Yin is seriously injured. His bones seem to be broken, but he's still alive. This combat strength is enough to look down on everyone in the same realm. The Beast King's expression was a little strange. Su Yin had sent 3 giants and Zhu Xing flying. Although Su Yin was seriously injured, he didn't die. If this news spread, it would be enough to shake the entire Big Dipper Star region. Trash! Give me your life. Zhu Xing's eyes widened in anger. He rushed over madly, his entire body surging with killing intent. Be careful. Xiaoya's expression changed drastically. Zhu Xing's losses weren't great at all. Once they charged over, Su Yin would be dead for sure. Come. Su Yin smiled coldly at Zhu Xing suddenly. He waved his hand, and the silent book of primal chaos mysteriously disappeared into the void. When it reappeared, the primal chaos treasure book fell into Su Yan's hands. The hall was completely silent, especially Mizar Juzi and the others who had just crawled up. Their eyes were about to pop out of their sockets as they let out hysterical roars. However, no matter how loud their voices were, it was impossible to stop the might of the primal chaos hall. Zhu Xing was furious, his face turning purple. This was because Wu Hong was the only one who had taken away the great divine ability scripture. Although they had obtained the star-seizing hand, they had already mastered it. But now, Su Yin had taken away the most important primal chaos treasure book and was even enveloped by the energy of the primal chaos great hall. Yao Guang and the others roared at the sky as blood seeped out of the corners of their eyes. This made the surrounding people tremble. How angry were they? After all, Su Yin, who had the weakest cultivation, had taken away the primal chaos treasure book. Now, it was too late to say anything. The Big Dipper Sutra had already fallen into Su Yan's hands. Tai Baokai took advantage of their rage to use spatial shrinking to escape. He ran very fast and ran like a madman. Right now, the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was completely silent. The cultivators who were watching from the outside were in disbelief when they heard Wu Heng's words. Su Yin was monopolizing the heroes of the various sections. A little cultivator like Su Yin was monopolizing the heroes of the various sects. The Shui family was the first to not believe it. This was absolutely impossible. But when Su Yin flew out with the Primal Chaos Treasure Book, the entire Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion was in an uproar. There were gasps everywhere. They couldn't believe it. There was only one thought in their minds. He was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen. What a good Su Yin! Shaolin was so excited that his body trembled. He looked up to the sky and laughed. I already said that Su Yin was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen. Now, the facts have proven that he fought against all the heroes and took away the Primal Chaos Treasure Book. This is a supreme battle strength. Hall Master Yao Guang and the others were silent. They secretly clenched their fists. They found it hard to believe that Su Yin was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen. This small cultivator was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen who was ranked first in the Stone Steps. The Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen who was ranked first in the Tao Gate realm. How is this possible? How could he be the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen? The Shui family head's eyes were red. It was as if his wife had been snatched away. He was so angry that his heart ached. How is this possible? The Shui family head still found it hard to believe. Su Yin was the Big Dipper Heaven's Chosen. He even suppressed all the heroes and obtained the recognition of the Primal Chaos Treasure Book. Master, you can go back into seclusion in peace. Martial Uncle Su Yin's battle strength is too strong. Xing Jingfu was abnormally excited. She even knew that Su Yin didn't take the Big Dipper scripture because she had already taken it. What Su Yin took should be the Big Dipper fist or some other secret technique. When Xing Jingfu addressed Zhu Yu as martial uncle, Zhu Yu's face darkened. She was peerlessly beautiful. She gently bit her bright red lips with her pearly white teeth. Her eyes were as bright as the stars. She looked at the scene that had appeared at the corner of the starry sky. Su Yin, how do you want me to thank you? Bamboo Moon calmed her unstable Tao heart and transmitted a message to Xing Jingfu. Don't let him leave the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Su Yin, who can compete with the Supreme Physique and Shui Guan in the future, has been exposed too early. He might be killed. Xing Jingfu couldn't help but nod. The combat power that Su Yin had displayed was a little shocking. Everyone knew that there could only be one young Supreme being in a galaxy. This was very cruel. Even some of the old antiques couldn't clearly explain the reason behind this. Bamboo Moon understood that Su Yin did this for her. She always felt that she owed him something when she left without saying goodbye. She smiled bitterly. Why come out of seclusion? I will protect him for 30 years. He must not take half a step out of the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Master, how did you? Xing Jingfu was stunned. Xing Jingfu was stunned. Zhu Yu had protected Su Yin for 30 years. Was she protecting a young supreme being who could run rampant in the world in the future? Or is there some other reason? But Su Yin's cultivation isn't high. It will be difficult for him to compete with Shui Guan for the title of Big Dipper Supreme. He is still too far away from comprehending the Tao. If Shui Guan is recognized by the Big Dipper and conferred the title of Big Dipper Supreme, then any prodigy will be overshadowed in front of Shui Guan. They will have to leave their homes. Xing Jingfu muttered in her heart. Just as she was about to ask, she noticed that Bamboo Moon's expression was a little stiff. If one didn't look carefully, it was very likely to be seen clearly. Shaolin transmitted a message from the side. Your master has returned to seclusion. It will probably take a long time, at least 1 or 2 years. This is her incarnation. Hide it for as long as you can. Xing Jingfu nodded. After all, the pressure of the Big Dipper's great Tao wouldn't exist forever. Perhaps in 2 or 3 years, the big shots will be able to step into the Big Dipper. Hence, Bamboo Moon's time was tight. She had to make a breakthrough to have absolute strength. The Big Dipper shook violently. The news flew out as if it had grown wings. The big shots, sitting cross-legged outside, were all shocked. Even Shui Guan, who was sitting cross-legged in Alcade City, felt uneasy. His entire body emanated an unparalleled, supreme, divine aura. He said softly, Su Yin, is it? I'll reserve my head first. His sonorous words spread throughout the entire Alcade city. For a moment, the big shots hiding in the dark were all shocked. They were discussing and felt that Shui Guan was very likely to force his way out in the near future and kill his way to the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper's prodigy is Su Yan. His physical body is unparalleled. Mizar Juzi and the other young Ingjia couldn't stop him even when they worked together. Although Mizar Juzi and the others' combat strength were suppressed, even their physical bodies were somewhat suppressed. However, Su Yan's performance is too shocking. This is a counterattack. Now, even the primal chaos treasure book has been taken by him. The Big Dipper's prodigy is Su Yan. Is this news reliable? Now that I think about it, the Big Dipper fairy helped Su Yan resolve their grudges. This shows his status in the Big Dipper lineage. But I never would have thought that Su Yan was the Big Dipper lineage's hidden prodigy. The Primal Chaos Treasure Book might very well contain the immortal scripture, the Big Dipper scripture. The Big Dipper shook continuously. All the powers were alarmed. The current Su Yan's cultivation wasn't high at all, but he could display such combat strength with just his physical body. This was unbelievable. But when they thought about the battle results in the first round of the Big Dipper Pagoda, they understood. Su Yan might have a supreme physique. Could it be that the long-extinct astral tyrant physique is about to appear? No. Some people say that Su Yan has a true dragon physique. When he was fighting Zhu Xing and the others, Su Yan used the true dragon secret technique. He didn't use the power of a supreme physique. It should be a divine physique. That's terrifying. This means that Su Yan cultivates a peerless scripture with a great origin. It might be the Big Dipper scripture. Countless pieces of news spread out, shaking the vast starfield. Inside the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion, bone-chilling killing intent surged like a raging storm. The heavens and earth surged with waves, and the divine radiance was like a sea. It was an earth-shattering scene. Great Child Mizar, Great Child Yao Guang, Han Tong, and the three great children of the Big Dipper bloodline were all enraged. They were simply unconvinced. Su Yan, come out. A large number of disciples from the Big Dipper lineage gathered. Their eyes were blazing as they looked at the primal chaos scripture in Su Yan's hand. This was the primal chaos scripture they yearned for even in their dreams. The nearby people were also greedy, but when they thought of the Big Dipper lineage, they shook their heads. Even Wu Hong didn't have the guts to covet the Big Dipper scripture. He's just a Big Dipper genius. His cultivation is too weak. Our race's champion is about to be conferred the title of Big Dipper Sovereign. All other geniuses are just foils. Some people from the Shui family looked at Su Yan with unkind eyes. Their pupils were cold. Even so, they didn't want to watch someone stand up under Shui Guan's nose. Su Yan sat down cross-legged. He took out a heavenly essence stone and absorbed its essence energy to nourish his injured body. His surging essence blood was vigorous. His meridians were like heavenly dragons that faintly had the power to pierce through the heavens. The surrounding people were aghast. They could feel the vigorous essence blood fluctuations in his body. It was like a divine furnace that stood there, absorbing the energy of the heavenly essence stone. His injuries were severe, and his body had also suffered great losses. He recovered 3 days later, but Su Yan's aura was still climbing. After refining nearly 5 kilograms of heavenly essence stone, Su Yan's essence blood was boundless and vigorous. His blood and chi source seemed to have transformed into a giant pillar that would rise from the ground and pierce through the heavens. This is the benefit of comprehending the laws. Su Yan thought. He didn't stop cultivating. He kept absorbing the energy of the heavenly essence stone, preparing to blast open the 9th sacred gate in one go. Soon, give me some time, and I'll be able to step into the divine realm. Su Yan's mind was clear. He flipped open the Tyrant Body Art and studied it. As for the things in the Primal Chaos Scripture, Su Yan couldn't help but smile bitterly. It contained the Big Dipper Fist and a revolving star passage technique. The revolving star passage technique was a void-type secret technique. Chapter 228. Su Yin has been cultivating in the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion. He hasn't left even half a step. He also knows his situation. Even if outsiders don't fight for the Primal Chaos Treasure Book, Mizar Juzi and the others won't give up on it. Just wait and see. Su Yin won't be able to leave. Looks like Su Yin hasn't matured yet. Otherwise, he would have rushed out long ago. It's a pity that he was born in the wrong era and bumped into Shueguan. The important figures were all discussing. They already knew about the battle in the Primal Chaos Hall. They could vaguely see a star rising slowly, but they all shook their heads. This era clearly belonged to Shueguan. Not to mention Su Yin, even prodigies like the Astral Beast Kings would find it hard to catch up to Shueguan. Interesting. Could it be that the Big Dipper Fairy has obtained the Big Dipper Sutra? Kong Ao didn't say much. He had noticed Bamboo Moon's situation. He was very sensitive to the starry sky. The Astral Beast and the Big Dipper lineage had no enmity, so Kong Ao chose to keep his mouth shut. He speculated that Bamboo Moon had obtained the Big Dipper Sutra and left an avatar here to deceive Hall Master Yao Guang and the others. In the Big Dipper Sutra Pavilion, the Primal Chaos Hall had already disappeared, and the 5 halls returned to peace. Su Yin looked solemn. He had been cultivating and refining the Heaven's Essence Stone. He frowned and transmitted his voice. It's hard for my physical body to improve. It'll be difficult to kill my way out. How strong do you want your physical body to be? Tai Baokai transmitted his voice indignantly. Your physical body is already strong enough. Even if you enter the transcendent realm, it won't strengthen your physical body by much. It can only increase your divine power. I'm a little uneasy. This can't go on. Wait until I comprehend the Tyrant Body Art. With my physical body's foundation, I'll be able to kill a Transcendent Realm Level 9 expert. Su Yin transmitted his voice. Conservatively speaking, it'll be hard for me to resist a Transcendence Realm Level 1 expert. You've already crossed many small realms. Kill a Transcendence Realm expert? You have no hope at all. Tai Baokai telepathically replied. Wait until you enter the Divine Arcana Realm and combine the 9 Daesung sects. Only then will you have a chance to fight against Dharma Plane cultivators. However, it's impossible for you to fight against Kaiyong Juzi and the others with the Tyrant Body technique. They're not ordinary people. Su Yin did not retort. Mizar Juzi and the rest were indeed strong. The mana in their bodies was too terrifying. The reason why he could suppress Mizar Juzi and the rest with his physical strength was because he had a great opportunity at the Big Dipper Pagoda. He had used the starry sky, heavenly liquid to temper his physical body and cultivate the 3 great furnaces. I need heavenly essence stones, Su Yin said in a low voice. I don't know how long I'll be trapped here. I can't get out at all. They're all watching me. I have to think of a way to get some ores to prevent any accidents. When Su Yin thought of this, his eyes brightened. He immediately transmitted a message to Xing Jing Fu and Xiao Yi. How many ores do you want? What kind of ores do you want? Xing Jing Fu transmitted a message. Master specially left a great killing weapon for you. It will probably be sent here soon. This is for you to save your life. Ores are easy. Xiao Yi transmitted a message. I almost forgot that you are a mystical sect cultivator. Wait here. I'll get you a batch of ores. You must not leave the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion. Mizar Juzi and the rest will definitely not leave this place. Su Yin listed out a large number of materials, which made Xiao Yi a little dizzy. Some of the items were very precious. There were also some divine materials that were difficult to obtain with his wealth. However, he said that he would report to the elders under Bamboo Moon and try his best not to let Han Tong and the rest notice. I've already brought back the Big Dipper scripture. The Big Dipper lineage can't treat me badly. However, Bamboo Moon doesn't have the final say in the treasure vault. However, these materials aren't too precious to the Big Dipper lineage. Su Yin muttered in his heart. He was thinking and recalling the scene of the 5 elements layout. He was preparing to create a 5 elements killing array that required the combination of 5 divine materials. Once the 5 elements killing array was refined, it would definitely be able to kill a Transcendence Realm expert. Time passed slowly. A month had already passed. There were fewer people in the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion, but Mizar, Juzi, and the rest were still here. I don't believe that he can hide in there forever. Han Tong gritted his teeth. As long as the Primal Chaos Treasure Book was still with Su Yin, Bamboo Moon wouldn't be able to obtain it. A few days later, Xiao Yi gave him a large batch of ores. There was also a great killing weapon that Bamboo Moon gave him. He was instantly relieved. He had already become a third-grade mystical sect cultivator. He was confident that he could carve out a great killing array. Although 150 kilograms of heavenly essence stone isn't a lot, the Big Dipper lineage has its own rules. I'm afraid of alarming Han Tong and the rest. Xiao Yi transmitted his voice. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. He didn't have much heavenly essence stone left. 150 kilograms of heavenly essence stone was quite a lot for him. His consciousness sank into the phoenix hairpin space. The third-grade Genesis brush began to absorb the energy of the Origin Essence Stone. What stunned him was that the Origin Essence Stone's divine energy couldn't upgrade the Genesis brush. Do I need Heavenly Essence Stone? Su Yin frowned and took out 5 kilograms of Heavenly Essence Stone. The Genesis brush absorbed for a while before it moved. It burned brightly and spewed out golden divine light. The small world within it began to expand rapidly, hazy with the mysterious power of the laws of heaven and earth. Su Yin observed the Genesis brush's upgrade. So, it's related to the terrain. Su Yin carefully comprehended. The upgrade of the Genesis brush could evolve the terrain, which would be of great help to his cultivation. However, he didn't expect that 5 kilograms of heavenly essence stone wouldn't be enough. Su Yin asked Tai Baokai if it knew how many heavenly essence stones were needed to upgrade the Genesis brush to grade 8. Stop dreaming. The price of a grade 8 Genesis brush isn't something you can bear. Even if it's upgraded to grade 6, it will require a huge amount of resources. After the Genesis brush reaches grade 3, it will require 100 times more resources to upgrade. That's because the Genesis brush seed will evolve into a small universe. This thing is a vampire. Su Yin was flabbergasted. He sucked in a breath of cold air and took out a few dozen kilograms of heavenly essence stone. However, the Genesis brush had absorbed over 50 kilograms of heavenly essence stone before it finally evolved. However, Su Yin was pleasantly surprised by the evolution this time. The golden Genesis brush emitted a mysterious aura, as if it was a divine brush of laws. He could feel the strength of the Genesis brush. It was extremely tough and seemed to be able to shatter divine weapons. This Genesis brush is truly a rare treasure. Su Yin held the Genesis brush and inscribed array patterns. He realized that his speed was many times faster than before. He originally estimated that he would need 3 months to inscribe the 5 elements killing array. Now that he had the help of the grade 4 Genesis brush, he could do it in a month. Su Yin meditated and cultivated. He still had 100 kilograms of heavenly essence stone on him. The number of heavenly essence stones required to open the 9th sacred gate exceeded Su Yan's expectations. Every day, his sacred gate required a huge amount of divine power. This was the last sacred gate and also the most difficult to open. The cost was likely to be no less than 50 kilograms of heavenly essence stone. On the 3rd day, a monstrous light suddenly flashed from within Su Yan's body, illuminating the world. A hazy wisp of holy aura spread out in this area. Boom! The 9th sacred gate burned, and the divine power in Su Yan's body more than doubled in an instant. This horrified him. The 9th Heaven Dao gate was indeed powerful. His divine power was already vigorous enough, but it had increased by more than double now. Of course, this was the divine power contained within the sacred gate. It couldn't be said that his combat strength had increased by more than double. Dao Gate Realm. The image projected by the starry sky corner silenced everyone. Han Tong and the others, who were entrenched outside the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion, had ugly expressions. They had actually lost to a Dao Gate Realm cultivator. Su Yin opened a Dao Gate. It should be the 9th Heaven Sacred Gate. I wonder how many sacred gates Su Yin has opened? There should be at least 6. right? It's highly possible. The sacred gate is too difficult to open. It requires an extremely strong foundation. It's still Sovereign Shui Guan who is the most terrifying. The first Dao gate he opened was already at the sacred grade. He even opened 9 Daesong gates consecutively. The surrounding people discussed fervently, guessing how many sacred gates Su Yin had opened. Su Yin is now at the 9th heaven of the Dao Gate realm. He has opened at least 6 Daesong gates. If he matures in the future, he will definitely be the strongest prodigy of the Big Dipper lineage. He might even succeed the position of the Star Lord. I seriously suspect that Su Yin has cultivated the Big Dipper scripture. His 9th sacred gate has boundless magic power. It's even more boundless than the 3 quasi-sacred gates I opened combined. Su Yin, who is at the 9th heaven of the Dao Gate realm, actually suppressed Mizar Juzi and the others? It's a pity that the prodigy Su Yin is now trapped in the Big Dipper Scripture Pavilion and doesn't dare to come out. Someone from the Shui family sneered and said, "What's the use of being strong? Our race's champion has been invincible. Even the sovereign physique suffered a crushing defeat. I do hope that someone can stand up and compete with our race's champion. I don't want him to be too lonely." The group of Yingjie who was discussing among themselves sighed. After all, Shuiguan was already comprehending the Tao. It's such a pity that Su Yin was born at the wrong time. If only he was born 100 years earlier. Time flew by slowly. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Su Yin had refined another 25 kilograms of heavenly essence stones. His 9 Daesong gates rumbled as they all entered the Great Circle realm. Now, the 9 Daesong gates were rumbling with each other and seemed to be in a state of unification. This made Su Yin astonished. The magic power in his body seemed to be drained dry. This is troublesome. My sacred gate needs a huge amount of heavenly essence stones to evolve the secret gates. If I were to cultivate step by step and absorb the essence of heaven and earth to store my foundation, it would take me at least 10 years. Su Yin wanted to cry, but had no tears. He felt that in his current state, the 9 Daesong gates would need at least 1,000 kilograms of heavenly essence stones to combine into one. This was still a conservative estimate. Su Yin was having a headache. Don't even think about it. I don't have any more heavenly essence stones on me. Tai Baotsai's head was like a rattle drum as he urged, "Let that last Xing Jingfu talk to Bamboo Moon. No matter what, she has to give at least 10,000 heavenly essence stones as a reward." Su Yin fell helpless and said softly, "I need heavenly essence stones." He knew that he couldn't get out in a short period of time, so he quickly refined the 5 elements killing array. He wanted to take the opportunity to rush out and excavate the resources and treasures on Big Dipper. Another 3 days passed. Su Yin was a little surprised. Han Tong had actually come. Even Mizar Juzi and the rest had chased after him. Their sinister eyes scanned Su Yin. "Dear nephews, what are you doing here? Do you still want to go to the Chaos Hall to spar?" Su Yin's words didn't infuriate Han Tong. A few of the Juzi's auras were terrifying. They stared at Su Yin and said coldly, "Su Yin, come with me. Kneel down and call me Martial Uncle. I can consider it." Su Yin's reply made Han Tong's face turn sinister. He laughed sinisterly and said, "Su Yin, I am now solemnly informing you that the Grand Elder has come out of seclusion. He has issued the Big Dipper order. You have 3 days to return to the Big Dipper lineage for investigation. Otherwise, you will be expelled from the Big Dipper lineage." Everyone was dumbfounded. Expelled from the Big Dipper lineage? Was Han Jin crazy? Didn't he know about Su Yan's achievements? "Han Tong, what are you trying to do? Expel from the Big Dipper lineage? Who gave you the right?" Xiao Yi roared angrily and raised his weapon. "Why? Are you guys planning to obstruct the Big Dipper order?" Han Tong said coldly and took out a shining silver token. The 2 words Big Dipper were engraved on the token. The token shone with a dazzling light that shone on the sky and sprinkled down a vast divine might. "Big Dipper order," Xiao Yi exclaimed. The Grand Elder had definitely come out of seclusion. Didn't that old fart almost die from a single slap? How did he recover? "Su Yin, return immediately." Han Tong looked down at Su Yin and smiled as if he had him in his grasp. Otherwise, you will be expelled from the Big Dipper lineage. Han Tong's confident smile calmed Kaiyang Juzi and the others. Su Yin couldn't possibly disobey the Big Dipper order, right? The Big Dipper order was the highest token in the Big Dipper lineage. Both the Grand Elder and the Star Master had one. F***CK. Tai Baokai lay on the ground and shook its fat legs. Its panda eyes were like large sunglasses. It shook its head in disdain and spoke as if Su Yin was a disciple of the Big Dipper lineage. This bastard spent more than 10,000 Heaven's Essence stones at the last auction to purchase the Origin Treasure Elixir. Tai Baokai crawled up and almost couldn't stand still.